Alrighty, 11:06 on a Friday. We're starting up the live. I thought to myself today, why don't I just wait to turn the TikTok to turn on the TikTok live? I am going to turn it on, but I'm also finishing the stream setup. TikTok will be on in a couple minutes. I like to wear shoes while I'm working. What's up, Mr. Luckaboo? Popping in. I like to wear shoes while I'm working, so I'm tying these up. Almost like a Mr. Rogers vibe. I am bright white because I think I have the camera set to auto. What did you give up for Hendo early in the week that you got him? I have people trickling in as well. I haven't started up the TikTok live. Traded Swift for Henderson and Myers. Dominic Labooty popping in saying good morning. What's up, Dominic? Just trying something a smidge different today. I wear shoes while I do these. Puts me in a working mindset, so I'm tying them now. I need to tweak this camera, and then we're going to turn on the TikTok fire hose of people, but that is not on right this moment. I've got chips all over my floor. Let's get this off of auto. It is extra sunny in Chicago. Well, TikTok is, I'm just now realizing if I'm ever looking at myself, it's in the app that's not fired up yet. All right, Dominic, did you have Henderson last night, or did you have him against you? Or did you dodge it entirely? Let's bring on Connor Daly popping in. What's up, Connor? We are firing up TikTok now. What time is it where I'm at? It's 5 p.m. and pitch black. It is 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock Central Time. All right. Doing a lot of clicking, but I think we got it up. We're up. Dominic, you picked up Henderson last week, and now you don't know what to do with him and Drake May. What's up, Bustatron 9000? What's up, Fiery Tutor? Talking about a hot butt. Maybe we're not talking about a hot butt. All right, TikTok is live now too. So we'll have the question fire hose blasting at us. Just nonstop. Got some different shoes up on here because I'm wearing the reds. I'm wearing the reds and blacks. The black toes. All right, we're saying blockbuster trade. I sent Jacobs, Nico Collins, and RJ Harvey for Jefferson, Saquon, and Buka for rest of season schedules. I think I like the Jefferson side. Justin Jefferson, Saquon, and Buka, I like it. Chugs 14, good morning. Can you help me with picking two, please? Barkley, Dowdle, Genty, or Javonte Williams? I mean, these are all right in the same area. I've got Barkley at 7, Genty at 12, Javonte at 10. And did you have Kyron Williams? No, Dowdle. I've got Dowdle at 14. But you could probably get a ton for Dowdle. Like, I've seen a lot of trades of people just sending Dowdle and getting Nico Collins. And I think that's all right. Oh, let's keep moving on these. We're going to fall behind if I don't keep moving. Luckaboo, as long as Henderson keeps being the RB1, I'll be happy with giving up Swift for him. I think so. I think you'll be happy. I mean, maybe yesterday was what the coaches needed to see. I don't know. Connor Daly, do you think it's fine that you have Bijan, Puka, Jamar, and Acham, but have Dobbs rest of season at flex? I think that's okay. I think you got to keep in mind it's week to week. I put in someone's team review today. Let's pull up some players, just a couple like historical things. Late in the season, teams will start using younger players. You know, rookies will finally start being used. The player that I first want to pull up was Jalen McMillan from last year. He's not playing right now, but we can find this year's version. So if you're running just Dobbs right now, there will be someone who goes from week 14 to 18 just on a touchdown tear. We've had this happen with like Nick Westbrook-Akine. was it 2024? Just this constant stretch of touchdowns that you could find and use. There will be guys who can be a better flex for nothing that can fill in for Romeo Dobbs. So if you have your team piled up into, you had Bijan, Puka, Jamar, Achan, and now you just got to find the next one of these guys to really put it over the edge, or just roll with Dobbs or someone else. I think you're in a decent spot. The other one I wanted to pull up was Amon-Ra. His rookie year. Was this his rookie year? Maybe this doesn't go far enough back on the site. No, 2021. Like slow start to the year. He had a couple good games and then just blew up in the back half and won you the championship. So these guys will happen again this year. There's going to be someone. Oh, I don't have the sound on. I see someone saying gifted sub and I didn't hear anything. I tried let's update the sound. Headphones should be coming through. Let me check this out. Is it working? Hey, I changed up this chat thing on Twitch and it might be working out all right. I think the chat is bigger now. It might be hard to read against that. So maybe I need to go in and tweak the settings. Let me know, because it now should show Twitch, YouTube, and Kick chat combined. So you guys can get a gauge of where you're at in the order. Shelf, start Tez or Franklin this week. Shelf, I'm not positive exactly which way I mean, I can look. You can also, if you guys have questions like that, like shelves, start Tez or Franklin. I updated the text. So right below the browser, it says weekly ranks, tinyurl.com. I think if I put the words YouTube on screen, it would stop showing the stream to anyone. TikTok doesn't really want you diverting people away. But we've got our ranks available on YouTube. This was Tez or got Tez at 40 and Franklin way ahead. Franklin in the 20s. So I would go Franklin. All right, we're definitely okay. Speed mode. There's the stuff coming through. We got follows from Timor, Heb Kang. Thank you for the Twitch follows. Turn up the sound a little bit so I can hear those a little bit better. Okay, Lou Codd dropped Henderson this week before the Stevenson injury. I'm last in waiver wire. Oh no. Dominic Labuti picked up Henderson and we're not sure what to do. Connor Daly, do you think it's fine? That's where we left off. Carnage, would you drop Tracy and pick up Pearsall off waivers? If that's your only drop option, then I can. I could. I want to see like how do things change with Tyrone Tracy? Wife and the dog are in here. Say what's up to the wife and Goose. There's a noise. And it'll come through. It'll come through and I'll see it when I'll get to it when I see it in the chat feed. Who do I have higher valued rest of season, Bucky or Judkins from Tudor? Probably Bucky by a little bit. Munoz start 2 this week. Vidal, Dowdle, Harvey, Dobbs. It's probably the running backs, and it would be Dowdle and I think Harvey. You can also check the ranks, Munoz, to get for sure and hear more context. So we have rankings videos on YouTube right here. And then we did more trade values again this morning. So if you're looking for trade values on someone like AJ Brown, package deals, I think we did Lamar in this one. I think we've got Mahomes in this one. These are all up to date from the past couple days. So if you're just looking for trade values for your players, give those a look as well on top of the normal ones we do on TikTok. Carnage, or how do you see the Giants offense now that Dayball is fired? That's a good question. I mean, that's the follow-up of what I was saying. We don't know. We already know that they're switching from, let me turn on this light. They're switching from Russell Wilson to Jameis. So it's totally possible that they go to just Singletary or Tyrone Tracy in a lead role. It's okay to say we don't know something and then react to not knowing what will happen. So Tracy has a good 1 more week stash. It could be nothing. It could be that it's just 50-50. But at this point, like, it's a decent hold for 1 more week to see what the new coach does. Rob MC, someone dropped Rachaad White, so I'm picking him up. Should I play him over Judkins? I have Judkins ahead. Got Judkins at 11, and then Rachaad White at 22, and that would be assuming no Bucky. If Bucky's back, I don't really want to use Rachaad White. Luke, did you see that trade package I sent in the Discord? I sent a pretty big haul for Jettas. It's in the roster help. Let's take a look. If it's just a trade, we could take a look on that one. Dominic Labuti for my running backs. I have Achane, Kyron, Vidal, Hampton, and Henderson. I think that's okay. I think you're all right. Connor Daly, Dobbs, or Pearsall this week at flex. I would do Pearsall. Let's go to the roster help. What is this trade? Justin Jefferson and Jalen Warren for Jamison Williams, Brian Thomas, Javonte Williams, and Quinshon Judkins. So the first thing I see, and this is more just streamer complaining, I don't want another Jay Williams. I don't want another Warren. I don't want another Williams. But that's nothing to do with your trade. I think I like this. This is a very good consolidation. I haven't crunched any numbers. Just the general deal of going 4-2 and you're adding more players, or you're adding more bench spots. I feel like we're all right there. Connor Daly, we covered. Joey Joestar going against Hendo in May, but at least May only had 15. Hey, I'm feeling good as well. I don't show my teams that often, but I just realized I'm in the playoffs in this league. I'm 4-6. We do top 4 make it, but it's top 2 records and top 2 points. I've been crushing on points. We had Henderson going against May. This is the Champions Club. We're reigning champs. I don't show this one a lot because it's a 2 quarterback and 2 flex, so the values don't quite line up with what anyone else would be using. But we're going against Drake May, and we had Henderson, and we started Justin Fields. We're looking all right. We're on pace to be top scorer in the league again. So we're top 4 in points. I think we're top 2 in total points scored. 4-6, but top 2 in total points. We've had some unlucky weeks. So I'm feeling it. Dominic Labuti, I almost traded Henderson and Juwan Jennings for Pittman and Chuba Hubbard. I dodged that one. Scuba Steve, I did face Hendo hat trick. Oh no, with May, so it's even worse. Would you do Judkins and Iamaner for Henry? I think I would take Henry there. So Luke, it says, thank you for the gifted sub from Scuba Steve, and I just need to track all of that. I'm going to fall behind. At some point, we'll jump in and get much more gratitude, but let's get questions. Questions were, we got Nike Rise, Woody, Judkins, DK, pick 2. I'm Judkins and DK. Benjamin Shaw, would you start McCarthy over Mayfield? Would I start JJ McCarthy over Drake Mayfield? Or Baker Mayfield? I would go Baker Mayfield over McCarthy. I think McCarthy's fine against the Bears, but I have him at 20 in terms of my confidence of wanting to start him. And you could check game-by-game breakdowns in the YouTube for any given quarterback. If you just want to know which quarterback to start, that is answerable within the ranks video. It's the same person. It's the same thoughts. I cook up the thoughts once, and now I'm just repeating them. If it helps you, you can imagine that I said your name before I named the ranks. But that is there to get your questions answered more quickly. We got Air Jordan here, which if I see Air Jordan, I'm reading the question. I got some 4s behind me, some 3s. They showed, let's just take a diversion. It's not going to show up on the live stream, but I do just want to vent on this. They updated, or they showed the real images for these Jordan 4 flight clubs. If I can't find it very quick, we'll diverge. But it's 4s with a bunch of extra stitching on the front instead of just the leather. I don't like it. Like right here on the toe cap, like 4 rows of stitching instead of just the normal leather. Like, why are we changing this? So that was Air Jordan. That was a massive tangent. Let's find the question. Let's find their question to make sure we get it. And then we'll cover anyone that I just missed, because I saw Air Jordan, I jumped right to it. Trade Bowers and Sutton for Jettas and Pitts? No, I'm sticking with Bowers there. I don't know that the rise from Bowers to Justin Jefferson is enough for me to go from Sutton to Kyle Pitts. We're kind of just a replacement level tight end. All right, Joey Joestar, did we cover? I think we got to Joey, Dominic, Scuba Steve, Benjamin Shaw. Is the last one we did. Nike Rises, who? Nope, we got Nike. I also sent Cook, Bucky, and AJ Brown for Christian McCaffrey on Monday before reports that Bucky was practicing. Yeah, that's a lot, though. Yeah, that's a lot. I think I would have stayed with the Cook side. Bryce Long, Rome or Pickens rest of season. I like Rome as the number one, but it's inconsistent. Yeah, I think you've hit the spot on there, Bryce. Like, who do we pick rest of season? What are the follow-up questions that we're going to ask if we decide? If we pick that we like Rome more than Pickens rest of season, does that mean we're then trying to only trade the other one? I'm not sure what the follow-up answer is, or if it's just that you can trade for either one. Then I think it's a slight edge to Pickens, but I would have the same thought process as you. We're just getting to the same spot. Reverse Norse just types the name, Boom Bust Fantasy. Were you searching for something, Reverse Norse, or did you have a question? Okay, I do see your question a little bit down, Norse. Herb Kang 60S, can you cash at me $20 so I could bet? Absolutely. No, I didn't. I know I could not. No, I could not. Were said ads hit. Not sure if you commented on the CMC trade. We just got to that one. We'll say it for the one time here. If ads hit, there's ways around ads. I do have a general keep it cool rule. If you say ads hit and type the question again, I will just reread the question again. I can see when ads are going. I usually try to pivot to answering other spots. So we just do the keep it cool rule. Rith, do I start Chase Brown or Algier at flex? Rith, I've got ranks. So one thing, I've got ranks for every position. You can check those out. That's on your screen. It says weekly ranks. I made it small so that it's hopefully we can fit in more text above where the chat shows up for you guys. But right behind the chat, there's a URL to get you to the weekly ranks. But I would take Chase Brown ahead comfortably. Scuba Steve says, thank you for the Prime sub. So let's get up to date on what have I Crom with the Prime sub. Thank you, Crom. And then Lou, it was a gifted sub. So I just need to keep this page up because they don't all show up here for some reason. Got multiple different spots where I see activity feeds, and that's there. So thank you to Crom. Thank you to Lou. That's 2. I've set the sub goal at 4, and I realized we did not get to the streak. So we'll reset the streak. And we got a daily one at 4. Scuba Steve, the OG Chicago's releases tomorrow. Oh, I know it. I know it. I'll be there. I'll be there. Catan 2020, hold or sell Travion Henderson? The answer is always sell, Catan, based on what you can get. I don't know what you can get in your league. Juan, who wins this trade? Jettas and Pollard for Bowers and Aaron Jones? Probably Justin Jefferson. Like, if you need a second running back, can't you do something? We did a video in the trade values today. In this one here that says AJ Brown and more, one of the more was Alvin Kamara. Like, can't you just go get Kamara for cheap? Why are we moving on from, why are we down tiering from our top pieces to solve these very small problems? Okay, Carnage. Would I drop Tyrone Tracy and pick up Pearsall from waivers? I like Pearsall more than Tracy. I would try to find a way to drop someone else. I think Tracy's a solid stash for one more week, but I would take Pearsall comfortably over him. Killing Goombas is back with a question. Thank you for coming back, Killing Goombas. Start 2 this week, half point per reception. Gadsden, Harvey, Amari, BTJ, Tajay, Judy. I think I'm Harvey. I might be Harvey and BTJ, and then the other option would be Gadsden. Reverse is big question. Do I accept Bucky, Rashad, Aaron Jones, and London for Chase, Stafford, and Quentin Johnston? Like Jamar Chase? I don't know that I do. There's not a ton of spots where I'm moving Jamar Chase for the package like that. I mean, it's a bunch of players, but now it's just Bucky and Rashad. You have to give up a bench spot here. So if it's just Bucky, Aaron Jones, and London for Chase, Stafford, and Quentin Johnston, it's close. I think I just want Jamar Chase, though, and I'd find a different way. Killing Goomba says, glad I'm catching a stream. It's been a bit. Hey, we're always glad to have you back. I try to remember as many names as I can. We did start posting them Goombas as, oh, I didn't realize I've been showing YouTube this whole time. These do now just post to YouTube afterwards on the live tab. So if for some reason you wanted to see a 38-year-old man try his best to keep up with chat and lose his mind answering start, sit, ad drop questions, you could for the last week. These will stay posted because they count as watch hours towards YouTube monetization. It's really the nitty gritty behind it. Lou, we checked that trade. I'm just 10 minutes behind. Okay. Reverse Nors, we covered that one. Kevin N, start one between Franklin, Tucker, and Wilson. I would go Franklin. Michael Munoz, flex Vidal or Jennings with Purdy back, but it's also Pearsall back, so I would go Vidal. Chris Lopez, should I panic on James Cook? Like, what's the panic? No, I don't think of any panic. July got offered CMC and Waddle. You got offered Christian McCaffrey and Jalen Waddle, and you give up CD and Jacobs. You could. I don't think I want to. I would rather have CeeDee Lamb and Jacobs. I like Jacobs at his position more than I like Waddle at his, and that would be the difference maker for me. Ariv Gupta, Schultz or Fannin, and Love or Flacco. I would go Flacco, and then I think I'm going Fannin. Lauren Babs, flex Devonta over Pearsall. You could check that one in the ranks as well. I'll just keep mentioning if you guys have a question that's just which wide receiver do I start? We can cover that more quickly for you in the ranks. It's the same guy as I'm reading, looking for Devonta. I have a Devonta at 19, and the other player was Pearsall. I would have Pearsall around 25. So Devonta Smith would be me. Cod says I'm feeling good about the trade. Wide receiver 1 and 2 are now Puka, Amon-Ra with Jettas in the flex. I think it's fantastic. I think that's great. Akadaughter, the public opinion is on Ramondre coming back and stealing the snaps. Would trading for Henderson be a good idea? I don't know that trading for Henderson is a good idea. He'll probably be someone that I'll post on Monday saying, hey, gang, Henderson might still have a role and people will hate it. And I think that's fine for me because there's a good chance Henderson still has a role. Maybe last night was enough to change the coach's mind. Like at some point, they will trust him as the lead guy. I think it might not even be this year. But maybe last night was what makes it this year. Like they're humans making decisions and they know the players better than we do. So if they've been using Ramondre Henderson, like Mike Vrabel is a very good head coach. He is better at evaluating football players than we are. So let's just wait and see what they do. Akadaughter. Bryce Webster, start to PPR, Ricky P, Trey Tucker, Malik Washington. Thoughts on Ricky P? If Ricky P's healthy, I'm going to him. And then it's kind of a coin flip here, like Malik Washington or Trey Tucker. I don't know that they're both into the coin flip territory. I think I would just go Malik. Sadu, do I move Nico Collins? If so, for who? I'm pretty sure I covered Nico Collins in one of these recent videos. The answer of should I move my player is always yes. It's always yes. If so, for who? Like, check in on your league. I like Nico Collins quite a bit. That doesn't mean your league mates do. Mass Cheesehead cooked at quarterback this week. Brissett versus the Niners or Flacco versus the Steelers. I would go on Flacco. Ray sending let him cook. Thank you, Ray on TikTok. Miller Colcat sending 20 GGs. Thank you. Thank you, gang. Thank you, gang. If I don't know that I see any mods in the TikTok chat to find those. Otherwise, I'll be scanning for Miller and Ray. Rith, any update on Devontae's oblique injury? Nothing yet. Not that I know of. Devontae Adams, anything questionable? Limited at practice Thursday. Came out of last week's banged up. Appears he will. This just says it appears he will still play on Sunday as of 16 hours ago, but that is just Fantasy Pros blurb. That is not based on any, that's just that guy's opinion based on the tea leaves that we all have. Oh, we're caught up on chat, unless I skipped a ton. Flex Devonta over Pearsall. No, we covered that. Lou Cod, how do you feel about Kincaid being out? Will it boost Shakir's stock? If so, is he a start over McMillan? I don't know that boosts him a ton. I don't think it boosts him a ton. And I think I got every, I don't think I missed anyone. Dominic Labuti heading out, going to watch the ranks video, might be back for some more help. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you for popping in right at the start, Dominic. Yeah, there'll be videos there. We'll have another trade value one tomorrow morning. We got Cade Otts with a YouTube sub, not Cade Otten. Thank you, Cade Otts. Ryan N. In a Superflex league, I need to pick up a tight end. Do I drop Tracy or Godwin or one of these quarterbacks? I would drop Godwin if I needed to pick someone up for a tight end, because there's a good chance you could just pick up Godwin next week and treat it like an extended bench. Dad Tommy Boy, trade Henderson for Drake May. I need a quarterback rest of season. If you have no quarterback, that does not seem insane. There are going to be people who value Trevion Henderson higher than that. So maybe check in and see if, even if you don't get a quarterback, if you're willing to trade Trevion Henderson, see if you can get something more valuable than Drake May and then trade your way to a different quarterback, if that makes sense. Because I think Trevion Henderson's value might go higher than Drake May. We won't really know until next week when real trades are coming through what the market is doing, but we'll see. Killing Goombas took a little trip to Japan, so trying to keep up with my leagues was tough, but worked really well for waivers. Oh yeah, with the time difference? I bet. I really hope you had a good time in Japan. I've never been out that way. I've never been to Japan over there. That I do want to. I don't think my wife would ever go. She does not travel well. She's not in the room to hear, but if I try to plan a trip, she's like, well, what are we going to do with the dog? What about it? And we just stopped. It's so many questions that could all be solved that seem like brick walls that we could never get through. So I guess I just stay home instead of solving them. Maybe I'll go to Japan someday. Marcel Torres, pick 3, Debo, Odunze, T. Higgins, Swift. So really the fourth option for me is it's of these 4, I'm stuck between Debo and Swift. Who do the commies play? Big Red Commies play Miami. In Spain. Is it Debo or Swift for me? Bears playing Minnesota. Give me Debo. Give me Debo. And I'm not confident about it. And I doubt you are as well. But I'll give a slight edge to Debo. Marcel, I have Gibbs and ETN. I've been trying to trade Swift, but don't really know who to target. Just trade Swift and Debo together and just get one player. Here's how we would build that trade package right here. My ultimate trade tips is the name of the playlist. I should probably make more trade tips. Every time I think of a trade tip, I'm much faster at building them into a short or a TikTok. So this is a trade tip. I just didn't talk about it for 5 minutes. I talked about it for 1. I could just sit and vamp and talk about it for 10 minutes, but this trade tip, steal this trade tip to win your league, is how do you take 2 players and get 1? And with what you have with Swift and Debo, you can make a realistic package. And as long as you're getting 1 player and you get a bench spot back, the specific player that ends up getting accepted isn't as important. You're going to get a value win, and I would send out like 10 offers and just hope to get 1 of them through. Enoch, appreciate the help as always. Hey, thank you for being here. Pick 1 quarterback to start this week. Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers, or Mariota. I think I have Bo Nix ahead. I have Bo Nix at 14 and Aaron Rodgers at 17. Aaron Rodgers is higher than he would normally be because he's playing the Bengals, who are pretty easy to move the ball on. And then I mean, Bo Nix is playing the Chiefs. That is a tougher defense, but closer to middle of the road, and the running. When you're looking at defensive ranks for how they stop quarterbacks or how good of a defense they are, you do need to kind of chuck a little bit of it out the window if the quarterback runs, because teams don't always play against quarterbacks that run. Q launch, need a quarterback this week. Should I pick up Stafford or Rodgers? I would pick up Stafford. And at this point, you could probably trade away. If you have a quarterback that's on bye this week, it's probably Daniel Jones. So it's hard to then trade Daniel Jones, but Stafford's really, like, Stafford should be owned or rostered. Lou Cod says, agree with always sell. I've made the most trades in my league by far, and I'm 8-2 and building the playoffs with the most teams in the playoff race still. See, I like that, Lou. I like that. And on one hand, I don't like that. I like the strategy, but I don't. But if you know all my tricks, what more do I provide? You know all the tricks. You're there. You're doing it. There's a lot of people that would get better at fantasy if they just did what you were doing. Be the one driving trade conversations, getting 2-for-1s, ship your stuff away and get 1 guy back, and always be open to trading. But you already know it. So you're already a pro. You can join the pro club. It's Johnny. Morning, Jack. Good morning, Johnny. I have Chase Brown, and someone sent me a trade for Bucky Irving. How do you feel about it? I guess I like Bucky a little bit ahead, but there are not a lot of trades that I make like that. It's Johnny, where I'm just going to send 1 running back and get 1 running back in redraft. I might tweak that strategy in Dynasty, where players have different ages and different contract situations, but just for redraft, someone sent you that trade, like, you could say, hey, thanks, but no thanks, or that doesn't really tweak my lineup at all. Why would I make that shift? I just try to find trades that don't have a for sure loser, because you could come up with other things. Ethan Lovejoy traded Henderson and Rome for Rice before the game last night. You traded Henderson and Rome for Rashee Rice before the game. Oh no. I mean, yeah, that'll feel bad. That'll feel bad. I think it'll feel better when you start Rice, and it'll feel better in a week or two. But that happens. Juvin traded Jacobs, Montgomery, and BTJ for McCaffrey and Jacoby Myers. So you go from Jacobs to McCaffrey, and it costs you Montgomery and BTJ, and then you get Myers in there. So is it Myers to Montgomery crosses off? So Jacobs and BTJ for McCaffrey? I don't think that's bad. I don't think it's bad. C money. I mean, there's a good chance. I mean, there's not a good chance, but it's always possible. A trade just went down in one of my leagues. It's always possible one of those guys pops, like we just saw with Ethan. But I think you come out ahead there. DJ, would you trade Ibuka for Bijan? Yes, absolutely. I would rather have Bijan. Chanel, Debo, or Wandale Flex? I think I have it. Debo, Chanel. You can confirm it in the ranks. It should be right on your screen, right below the browser. It's been a while since I tried to point out what you guys would see. For right below the browser, it'll say weekly ranks, and then it shows the website for that. Alrighty, Joe Lake went to Japan a couple months ago. It was sweet. Okinawa was heaven. Someday, Joe. Someday. I do want to get out there. All right. That was the one at the top of the list. We covered Lou, covered Johnny, J Ray Stream. Do you think Judkins and Odunze is too much for JSN or Jamar Chase? I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's too much. If that's the best consolidation you can make, and usually it is, in your league, like not a lot of people want to take Keenan Allen and Woody Marks and give you one player back. So if that's the one that you can make, and then you're starting one of those other guys, like, yeah, I think that's solid. Especially if you have that depth, let's consolidate it. We just want to get a good consolidation going. Oliver Marquardt, thoughts on trading for Terry McLaurin, and you've already made the playoffs? Depending on the price, yes. I mean, but that's base level information. Anyone can sit here and say, yeah, depending on the price. Like, what would it take for me to trade for Terry McLaurin? Let's pull him up. He's someone that I haven't even. He seems like such a thing that very few people are thinking about, that I haven't made a video on him. Let's go to like really small trades involving Terry. Brian Thomas for Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin for Diggs and Booty. Like, I might just stick with Diggs. Terry McLaurin for DJ Moore. Fine. But I think I prefer DJ Moore. Terry McLaurin for Tez Johnson. I would take Terry. Terry McLaurin for Chris Godwin. I would take Terry, I think. There's just not a ton of interesting trades going on with him. And I don't know when he comes back. There's a chance it gives you a small edge. Weird question. Traded for Henderson this week, but he popped off this week. Do you think that would hurt his value in my league even after his big game? I'm not sure I understand. Okay, you traded for Henderson this week, but he popped off this week. Do you think that would hurt his value in my league after his big game? No, I think his value should just go up. Mass Cheesehead might be overthinking this, but for tight end, Theo Johnson with Dart out, or start Dawson Knox now that Kincaid is out? I think I'd just go with Theo Johnson. Yeah, I think I would just go with Theo Johnson. I guess what I would say, Mass Cheesehead, like, as much as we think about tight end, it is one of the harder things to predict based on like how defenses play individual teams. If a team is behind, it will often go to a tight end. The easy passes, a tight end over the middle, just choose clock if the team is up a couple scores. And then just when they get to the red zone, does the tight end catch a touchdown? Do they dial up a play that sends a tight end to a weird, like a second tight end? It's one of the harder things to predict, and it is just who gets a touchdown once we're outside of the top 5 or 6. Catan. Oh, let's see. We got a couple. This is last week to trade Henderson for Drake May. I think that one was just about Henderson for me. Like, I think you can get a little bit more. I don't know when your deadline is. Dat Tommy Boy, no, that's what we just said. Enoch, PPR League, pick one, Tet, Addison, Pearsall. I think I have Tet at 26 and Pearsall would be ahead at 24. Catan, but that's like interchangeable. Catan, Sutton, and Spears for Derrick Henry. Sure. 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 Joe Blacco, start two, JMO, Michael Wilson, Judy, Franklin. I'm probably JMO and Franklin. I like the change in play calling with Dan Campbell. I like what I saw. We saw a player get an increased workload, and we saw a news story that explains it. So I'll get in after 2 weeks rather than needing 3. I think. I don't know the future, but I would be willing to go with JMO. Joe Blacco, start two, Harvey, Marks, Judkins. I would go Harvey and Judkins. I just even with Marks in a decent matchup against the Titans, I like those guys a little bit more. Joey Joe, start with Godwin and Bucky out. Would you start Otten over Ferg? Odunze or Rashad White? And he was getting a ton of targets. Was Bucky for sure ruled out? He's doubtful. Doubtful. He's able to practice, but not enough to see him cleared action. He'll make his long-awaited return next week. Oh, now this says out. It was doubtful. This says doubtful, but when I click on it, it says out. When I start Otten over Ferg, not over Ferg. Ferg playing the Raiders, I think I still like that a little bit more. Enoch, general thoughts on what to do with Breece Hall. Hold for now. Who do you think is a running back I could get, and who would be an upgrade I don't have to give up too much for? Have I covered Breece Hall? I know I mentioned him in a video today, but I didn't give any actual values for him. Breece Hall for T. Higgins. That's a fine. I guess that's fine. Breece Hall for Javonte Williams. I'm not sure you could get that. Breece Hall for Roman Dunze. Breece Hall for DeAndre Swift. I mean, it's not looking good without, it's not looking great without Garrett Wilson there. If the team just can't really move the ball. Blake Powley going to trade James Cook and Amon-Ra and Goddard for Justin Jefferson and Christian McCaffrey. What do you think? That feels like a little bit too much. Does it? You're sending Amon-Ra, James Cook, and you get, I don't know that you're getting enough. I don't feel like we're getting, let's pull numbers on this one. It'll give us an opportunity to talk about Justin Jefferson, James Cook. This is the database, not the calculator. James Cook. You're sending Amon-Ra and Goddard. I think I say Dallas. Yeah, I thought it was GOE. You're getting Jefferson, McCaffrey, and just Jefferson and McCaffrey. I like yeah, seeing it put this way with this value this low on Justin Jefferson, I think we're okay. I mean, it puts our, yeah. Seeing the numbers next to McCaffrey does make me think like, yes, I do like McCaffrey as RB2, and I would put his value this high. I could say Amon-Ra is right up there closer to McCaffrey, and that would change things. But if you don't need Dallas Goedert, and that's the ticket here to let you upgrade from James Cook to McCaffrey, I think that's fine. Eccentric Fade, my league is so confusing on trading. I have Saquon, ETN. Okay, my league is so confusing on trading. I tried trading Saquon straight up for Amon-Ra to an RB needy team, and they said no. I think that's crazy. London owner wants Saquon and Devontae for him. I mean, that's too much. But there's plenty of times where someone could say, like, I have Amon-Ra. I don't want to trade him for Saquon Barkley. Like, that's generally the market. Just because he needs a running back doesn't mean this says the value difference is 2,000. Now, it is all just made up. But I do somewhat agree. Like, I would rather have Amon-Ra. Even if I'm a running back needy team, I'll go trade for a different running back. I don't think it's wild, but that's the whole game. It's just people valuing these players differently. Nathan Shepard, thoughts on me trading BTJ Pearsall, Rashad White, and Bill for Rashee Rice? I'm essentially clearing my bench spots to fill flex. Am I risking it with one injury screwing you? I don't think an injury screws you. There's going to be someone on waivers that will be okay. You're sending BTJ, Pearsall, Rashad White, and Bill. Like, are you even starting Rashad White and Bill in 2 weeks? BTJ and Pearsall for Rice would be amazing. And then you're just these extra names that are replaceable on waivers. I think you're fine. I really like this deal. Elijah, should I attempt to trade Zay Flowers away? The answer is, Elijah, I don't know that I've seen you in the chat before. The answer of should I trade a player away is always yes, because I'm assuming you can trade them for more. So yeah, you should always be shopping your players. The best way to play fantasy football is constantly be shopping your players to gauge what they're worth to the other managers in your league. If no one likes Zay Flowers, then no, don't trade him away. But if someone like Zay Flowers, like, yeah, he can go. Everyone on my team can go if someone loves that guy. Officials, dude. Oh, I skipped some. I've definitely skipped some. We'll get right to you in 2 messages, dude. Eccentric phase, what tight end would you target if you sent Saquon and Ferg? McBride owner is dead set on keeping him. I mean, the same. I mean, if I'm sending Saquon and Ferg, you can't get McBride, it's got to be like Tyler Warren and a massive piece back. I think we're shooting, and Saquon and Ferg would be too much to go to McBride. Oliver Marquardt, I got Terry for Dobbs. That's a good one. That's a good one. And then, dude, Nico Collins and Kyle Pitts for Kyron Williams. I don't know that you need to add anything to Nico Collins to get to Kyron Williams. I would think it would be the other way. Someone should have to add something onto Kyron Williams. Lookaboo, I worded that terribly. I'm thinking of shopping Henderson after his big game last night, but I just traded for him a couple days. So do you oh, no. Does trading for a player a couple days ago make his value lower? Maybe to some people, but no. It shouldn't, would be the answer. Like, why would it matter? There might be some people who have, I mean, people have a lot of different thoughts and reasons for how they value players in fantasy. But in reality, it shouldn't. The Flame, Scott, should I trade Drake London for Trey McBride? If you have 0 tight ends, I think the value crossover isn't insane. You could possibly ask for something back, but we were drafting them around the same spot, and they both have been doing what we expected. Hooligan, Anub, Hooligan. Start Stafford, Dak, or Baker. I think I have Dak the highest at 4, playing the Raiders. If you have a question that is just which quarterback do I start or which 2 wide receivers, we do have positional ranks, weekly ranks. It's all the same thoughts that went into making this video that are answering the questions right now. All right. Mass G says last one, I swear, this only goes on if you ask questions. So thank you for each individual question. You don't have to say it's the last one. Monungai versus the Vikings or DeMarcado versus the Niners. I think I would go Monungai to get into the end zone. Well, my guess is that what we saw with DeMarcado last week was more to do with the Cardinals were down 21-0 after the first quarter. So they're going to be into like extreme pass throw mode compared to other teams. And that would favor someone like DeMarcado. Nathan Peabody, what is Henderson's trade value if you're targeting a wide receiver? I'm not sure yet. I mean, a lot of the trade values that I do, Nathan, are just based on actual trades. So if I make a TikTok and I say these are real trades, it's because they are. So when I'm gauging what players are going for, it's based on moves that have happened. And I don't know that like we can even see, we could get a look. Trevion Henderson today, 11:14, was traded for Kincaid and Charbonnet, traded for T. Higgins. But that was yesterday, 11:13. We only have, most leagues you can't really trade on Friday morning, or people don't because it won't go through. But I think you could probably swing T. Higgins. Could you get someone to give you Roma Dunze? It wouldn't surprise me. We're Sendabuka and Olave for JSN. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. If that's the only consolidation, sure. Austin Ladd, I've received a great trade package. Now the clear runner for first place this year. Thank you, Austin, for being a winner. Should I trade this year for many years to come? But Should I trade this year for many years to come by trading for multiple high picks and great keepers for next year? You're in the running for first place and you're asking, should you throw it this year to win more next year? No, no. Win the money now. And then remember that you can find the values again next year. There's a lot of guys that are like the value swings from draft season to now, 11 weeks later. There's some wild ones. Javonte Williams, 10th round pick, is now would go in the second or third. Like you can find that again next year. So I wouldn't throw away a realistic shot at finishing in the money for the idea that my picks next year would get me there a little bit better. Like get the money now. Michael says Olave and Adams for Lamb. Okay, Olave and Adams for Lamb, Aaron Jones, and DJ Moore. Would I send Olave and Devontae Adams to get Lamb, Aaron Jones, and DJ Moore? I think it's possible. That is a lot to give up, to move up from Devontae Adams, who I think is really good and could just be a little bit undervalued, to get to CeeDee Lamb. And then does Aaron Jones make your lineup better? Does DJ Moore get started? I might want a better second player there, and I don't know that I could turn Aaron Jones and DJ Moore into a better second player. So I think it's a little low. Blake Paul, you the GOAT. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you, Blake. Austin Ladd, when I say clear runner, this is the team. Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jefferson, Josh Jacobs, CeeDee, and Kittle starting. Okay, then win. That's a solid team. Michael is just listing his... Oh, that's the new roster after trade? All right. Broly, trade my Cook for Puka straight up? Yeah, I would trade James Cook for Puka straight up. Elijah says, I am new here, came from TikTok. Hey, you get your answers. You get your questions answered on a different spot. We try our best on TikTok, but if we're going to favor anyone of the... In total, we have 120, give or take. There might be more. No, I think that's just YouTube. And then 13 more. We're around like 135. I'm going to favor the ones here where I can moderate the chat more. We've got Call COL on TikTok as an example. We'll put them on mute, but it's like a Hydra. Is that a Hydra? If I mute COL on TikTok, 5 more spammers will show up there. So if you want the best chance of getting your question answered from TikTok, you can swap over to YouTube chat. You can swap over to Twitch chat. And we cover every one of them there. Brother Justin, do I give T-Mac plus Shaheed, Ted McMillan plus Shaheed for Waddle? I think that's a fine consolidation. I like Waddle more than Ted McMillan, and I would give up Shaheed to make my lineup better in that way. I'll say I'm also a Ted McMillan believer, but it hasn't happened yet. I think if he starts hitting the end zone, like that's he gets a ton of targets. There's a lot of room for his fantasy points to improve, but you could also just get Waddle and give up Shaheed to do it. And that does not bother me. Austin Hoeing says Stafford, Mahomes, Hurts, pick 2. You do have Adams and Rice. I think I just have Hurts, and I have Jalen Hurts at 3, Mahomes at 7, Stafford at 8. They're all really good options. You could also make a move to do a trade. That sounds like a super flex or a 2 QB. Lou Codd, thoughts on the Cardinals backfield when Benson is healthy? I think it's Benson. I don't know that Bam Knight is amazing or that DeMarcado is amazing. I think they would just go to Benson, who also might not be fantastic, but he's the best of the options there. John G. Charleston, I got Henderson off waivers, and boy, am I glad Judkins and Woody aren't my default starters anymore. That's a good one. That's a good one. Henderson hit waivers quite a bit. Ryan N. trying to get 2-for-1 deals, and you have a lot of depth. You got a lot of options. Should I trade Dowdle and Tet for CeeDee? Yeah. Or like a Tet and Warren for Nico and Adams. What I'm hearing, Ryan, and I'm guessing, is you're questioning, should you even send these offers, or do you have real offers? I think the difference between nobody trades in my league and getting a trade done is just a perspective. So if you're sitting here asking, should I even send these trades? I'm sending out like 10 or 15 and hoping I get one done. I'm not sitting and thinking like, am I doing it? Like, I've got my process here. The ultimate trade tips, steal this trade tip. Just going 2 for 1 is almost always the correct value win, getting that extra bench spot. So I'm typically just trying to go 2 for 1, and I send a bunch of them because a lot of trades don't get, I feel that pain that people have. A lot of trades don't get a response, but I want one to go through. So I'll send out 10 and hope that one of them does. And I'm not that worried about putting up blockers to get that lead to me getting no deals. But of those, if those are real offers, trading Dowdle and Tet for CeeDee, I like it. Or Tet and Warren for Nico or Adams. I think it's Jaylen Warren. I could be fine with that too. Yeah, I don't feel strongly about which one to do. John G's Charleston, do you think Henderson is a sell high candidate instead of a hold? I think Ramondre Stevenson will have value. And there's a couple of running backs. So I'm going to I did the live stream yesterday, and then I called Luke. If you guys don't follow Luke Garza on TikTok, he does like breakdowns of running back usage, target shares for wide receivers. He's on YouTube doing full weekly preps and recaps. Check him out. But I was talking with him, just saying, like, in general, when these players have huge games because someone missed time, this year I have said I would move on from Jordan Mason. That one clearly worked out. But I also said I would move on from Rico Dowdle. And that also works out if you sell them high. If you have $100 that could go away and you trade it for $100 that won't go away, that works out. Rico Dowdle has still been very good, but if you translated him to something of equal value, you just removed risk and kept that. So if you can do that with Henderson, you don't have to hold him. If you think he's worth a top 12 running back going forward and you trade him as though he is one, you just get to keep that value as a different player who won't go away. Mo Diesel, half PPR, Jacoby Myers or Michael Wilson. I'm going to go Jacoby Myers. Bodo died twice. I just got a trade offer. I get Judkins for Shakir. I would take Judkins there. I would take Judkins. And then, depending on your team lineup, you might have a bunch of running backs. In general, I would always just trade Shakir for Judkins. And then if I need to get a wide receiver, trade one of the running backs that I have for a better wide receiver. Because I think you're just getting a big enough value win that even if it makes a problem for you, you now have enough value to go solve that problem pretty easily. Air Jordan, what's up? Knicks and Higgins for Lamar. I think so. We did Lamar today on this one, and I want to say, like, you could probably just get Lamar for just Higgins. But if it's Bo Nix on top of that, that's not a ton. That's not a ton on top of it. I don't want to have two quarterbacks. So if you have Bo Nix, like, yeah, I guess that's getting rid of him, and you don't have someone else. I said that line about not wanting two quarterbacks, and then remembered, like, oh yeah, you're shipping one away. You could probably even ask for a little bit back on top of Lamar. If he doesn't do it, that's not a deal breaker, but you could ask and it wouldn't be offensive. Bobby on TikTok with the follow. Jordan McDaniels with the follow. We got questions from both of them. Bobby sent in a heart me as well. Bobby asks, traded Bucky for Waddle? I think I like the Bucky side of that one. And a similar question to what I was saying about the Shakir trade, going from Shakir to Judkins. Like, I think I just like having the running back as slightly more valuable for the production. Jordan McDaniel said trade Rome for Waddle. I guess Waddle's better, but we don't know the rest of the future. I would have those guys around a similar tier going forward. And I don't do a ton of 1 for 1. So if it's just the question, if someone comes to you and says, I'll give you Waddle for Rome, he thinks Rome is better. Why are you not getting more on top? Like, if that guy is saying, he's coming to you and saying, I like Rome more than I like Waddle, should we do it for free? Like, why aren't you getting more on top of Waddle? The guy likes Rome more, so make him prove it. Colton Strange with the follow. What's up, Colton? We got one from Bobby. Another one from Bobby. who joined the Heart Me Club. That's why that's why his name shows a member level, because he sent to Heart Me, which does make his name easier to see. I have Jonathan Taylor and Judkins already, so I didn't need Bucky. I don't know that that's the way to process it, Bobby. Do you think Henderson? We covered Henderson. I went on a spiel on that one. Mo Diesel, we covered. Bodo died twice. That's when we hit. Austin Ladd says, as always, thank you. Hey, thank you guys. We covered Air Jordan. Shouts to Shoes. Shout out to Shoes. Hockey Storm, should I trade Javante and Puka for Lamar and Jamar? Your other running backs are Jalen Warren and Jonathan Taylor. You can. Do you like, who's your quarterback? What are you going to do with this quarterback value that you have? I don't want to make trades right now that are just going to take existing value in my lineup and just set it on fire by moving it to my bench. So this will make your lineup a little bit better. But can you move the follow-up, the other quarterback that you have? Just on numbers, it seems fine. Does it? Yeah. Yeah, it's close enough that it's not insane. Sean Doherty, do you think Pearsall makes an impact this week? Should I bench Juwan Jennings? It's one of the harder teams to predict. I personally would, but that's not one where I would confidently stand on business and say, like, hey, this thought process, it works over the long term. Trying to gauge what's going on with the 49ers is one of the tougher teams. So I think he has an impact this week, but I'm not jumping up and down saying everyone's an idiot if they don't start Pearsall. Fuji X Shooter, is Sutton and Ramondre Stevenson enough to get Bucky? It can be. It could be. Maybe throwing Woody as a sweetener. I mean, ask that guy. That after last night, there might be people saying Ramondre Stevenson never touches a football again. So ask him. I don't think you're going to make his secret kill list if you do that. G Gold, I'm 4-6 with the most points scored in the league. I often do if I'm the commissioner in a redraft league, we'll add in the final 2 playoff spots go to the top scoring teams. And I've really liked that. So I've got a team where we showed it earlier. Oh, it's right here. Okay, good. I'm 4-6, but I'm actually like top 2 in points scored. So if I keep going, I can make the playoffs. And I like having something like that where a team that's losing games still is playing. A lot of teams are still contending to get top points. BTJ for Henderson. I don't know that you would get it, Tim, but I would send it. I'd be fine with it. Brother Justin, T-Mac, and JMO for Waddle. I already have Rashee Rice and Pickens. Yeah, we might be selling low on JMO before he goes on a good stretch with the play caller change, but I don't hate it. Bow Bulldog, am I crazy for starting Woody Marks over Derrick Henry this week? I mean, the whole game is guessing values and making predictions. I personally wouldn't, but I rank Jalen Hurts highly every week, and I think he was outside the top 12. Like, it can happen. I just personally wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't think you're dumb. That's the game. It's predicting what's going to happen and predicting values. The Flame Scott, the tight ends I have are Johnson and Pitts. I think we just covered Brother Justin. LaFlame Scott, I think this will be the first time I say this today. I do my best to answer as many questions as I can, and I don't mean this as disrespectful. I don't remember any of the questions that I read. It's just constant combos of players. I can't keep track of them. So the tight ends you have are Johnson and Pitts. I would start Johnson. That's my best. I have Pitts ahead, 11. That's my best guess at what the question is. I can remember names, but I don't remember questions. Speaking of names, I remember Amanda Ross St. Brown on TikTok. Puka and Pittman for Achane. I think that's got to go the other way. Why is it Puka and? That should be Achane and. If we're going to Puka, I like Puka more than Achane, and you would definitely have to add a second player to Achane for me to move Puka Nacua. Amanda. I think we just got the and on the wrong side there. We could pull this up and go with, this is just market value. If I'm ever pulling up this site, Fantasy Calc, one, showing this website does not mean I think trade calculators are a good idea or usable, because it's just community rankings and then their calculation of which side gets favored. But in a 1-for-1, it can tell you who more people like, and more people like Puka. And I think Achan's gotten up to 4 because he just hit 40 points. But he's not going to hit 40 points every week. Almost no one does. Almost no one ever does. So I think in 2 or 3 weeks, people will confidently say they prefer Puka over Achan. Dr. Schmidt says, I've been following on TikTok. What do you think about Goddard, Swift for McBride? He might have me add in Devonta Smith. Would I move Smith and Swift for McBride? And is Goddard close to droppable tier? No, he's not droppable tier, but yeah, I could make that deal. I like it. Thank you for jumping over. Let me swap over. Was that a first-time chatter? Air Jordan T is a first-time chatter on Twitch, but they were also on YouTube. Was that a first-time chatter? I'm not sure. We have a bunch of first-time chatters, and I'm just way behind on the chat. I'm just behind on the chat. Amanda Ross and Brown, thank you for the hat and mustache. Charlie Castro, should I start Alton, Otten, or Schultz? I like Otten better. Okay, here we are. McCurry, should I trade Saquon, Mark Andrews, and DK Metcalf for Marks, Bowers, and BTJ? No, I don't think so. I would say with Saquon and DK Metcalf. I like Saquon more than Bowers. I like DK more than BTJ. And I think and then the only one that I like more on the other side would be Marks over Mark Andrews. Yeah, if you want to get a tight end upgrade, I would look for different options or roll with Mark Andrews. He can be okay if you have a monster lineup around him. Charlie Castro, we covered Tyler Boyko, Bijan and Flowers for Saquon and Rice. I could go Saquon and Rice there. I think Bijan's the best player, but it could also be Saquon down the stretch. It wouldn't be insane if it was Saquon. It wouldn't be insane if it was Rice. I think it's most likely Bijan the best going forward, but Flowers is so far out of that conversation where I could move from the best player to take on 2 really good ones. Dr. Schmidt, but we covered Dr. Schmidt. Thank you, Dr. Schmidt. Max Luke, flex Woody Marks or Sutton? I'm going with Sutton. I know it's been swapping. I know it hasn't looked as good. If you went with Woody Marks, I would understand, but I'm just so slow to. Maybe that's the spot at fantasy that I'm the weakest at, would be being slow to adjust to changes. Let's pull up Sutton. Is my feeling that it's been 2 weeks of Franklin? I think we're really only worried 10 points. So 3 weeks of only hitting 10. I think I'm still Sutton over Marks, but let's see where Marks has been. Let's see. Am I just wrong? This feels very similar to me. Marks playing the Titans. Like, yeah, you could. I like the upside and the player skill of Sutton a little bit. But if you went with Marks, I wouldn't call you crazy. Austin Ladd says, not going to lie, you provided. Why would you lie? Are there times where you would lie, Austin Ladd? Maybe I'm just very old. I don't understand that phrase at all. Because I just wouldn't ever lie. I think maybe that's it. There's never a time when I would want to tell a lie, or really would. You provided me with probably all of the football knowledge. Just wish I had found you before my draft. I'll be there next year. Thank you for saying that. You don't have to say things like that. Thank you for doing it. Just trying to share what I know. Sarah's back. Sarah pops in on Fridays with the questions. Mayfield or McCarthy this week, considering the Bucs matchup. I still like Baker Mayfield ahead. I still like it. And I have him at 9. I would normally have him like top 5. So it's a tougher matchup, but these players, I think he'll be able to move the ball. I don't know that I'm ever expecting the Tampa Bay Bucs to be held to like 10 points. I think he'll be able to move it. Let's see. Scooby Steve says, I sent out 9 trades yesterday. None have gone through. Just another day at the office. That is what I used to do at the office. And guess why I don't work at the office anymore? Because I only did fantasy football for a few months. I won the league, but it seemed pretty clear how I was winning the league because I wasn't working. Bow Bulldog, should I start? Should I start Woody over Derrick Henry? I would go with Derrick Henry there. I could understand putting Woody over Cortland Sutton, but I would go with Derrick Henry. Air Jordan, Knicks, and Higgins for Lamar. We covered that one, Air Jordan, and then did you swap over and ask it again? Knicks for Higgins and Lamar. We covered Air Jordan. The very short version is like Higgins is enough for Lamar. I guess I'm fine if you also send Bo Nix. It's not insane. If that's your only quarterback, then yeah. I don't really want you to end up with two quarterbacks with Lamar and someone else. Bow Bulldog, we cover Scuba Steve. It's 11:57 on the chat log and 12:11 in real time. So we're trying our best to keep up. So we're just about 10 minutes behind. So don't repost it. We're going to try to pick up the speed and get to everyone on Twitch and YouTube. On TikTok, that would become the next level down. We got Jay Sosa, who's here multiple times on TikTok. As I see people in Cali Dog. Danny Dimes is on by stack Darnold with JSN or Rodgers against Cincy. I think I could go Darnold with JSN. Here's the real answer. Like, I don't know that we know enough to say you could pick wrongly. With the information you have, both options are okay. The reality will happen, and then we'll see what the answer is, but both guesses seem valid. Cali Dog, trade Javonte Williams and Kittle for Gibbs. Shane with the resub. We'll jump to Shane in just a second. Trade Javonte Williams and Kittle for Gibbs. I think you could. If you have another tight end, if you have a really solid tight end option, and then you're moving from Williams to Gibbs, that's not crazy. All right, Shane, thank you for the prime sub. Shane, you passing 200. Shane's got a TikTok of gym content. So if let me know how that one's going when you're in the chat, Shane. You were at 200 followers before. Let's see if we can boost you up. Eric says I need to sit one. Rice, Ibuka, Genty, Collins. Genty. But make a trade. Texas Tejano is here. Woody, RJ, Harvey, Jacoby Myers, or Aaron Jones in the flex. I think if there's no Dobbins, I'm taking the upside. I'm taking the RJ Harvey. I don't know that he'll get 3 touchdowns like Henderson, but I'm going with him. Okay. I said I would do speed mode, and then I did a bunch of TikToks. Tim Timmons, BTJ for Ibuka. Give me Ibuka. Luckaboo, trade Henderson and Alec Pierce for Waddle. I think you could get more. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get more. Dallas Lamb, should I trade Genty for Ladd and RJ? Genty's my flex. I might just like Ladd as much as Genty, and then you get RJ Harvey. That's not crazy. Hacky Storm, my QB is Baker right now. I think you're okay. Elijah, rest of the season, would you say Judkins has more value than Chase Brown? I don't know that I would definitively say that. I don't do a ton of like, I think I would just have them in the same tier. I do see a question from Colton on TikTok who asks realistic trades for Devon Achane. That was the video today. So we've been doing TikTok trade value videos. They are now on YouTube with more players. So here is one from today. It says AJ Brown and more. That is really just me trying to game YouTube search, pick a player, put their name in there. But Devon Achane is in there. There are 5 players in here. Achane is one of them. So that would have realistic trades for you. And then on your screen where it says weekly ranks, that'll just get you to the YouTube, or the YouTube channel name is the same as on TikTok at Boombust Fantasy. Vivi, I see Vivi. Let me make sure I'm not. Yep, Vivi is the next one. Good morning. What's up, Vivi Mochito? Someone wants to give me Odunze for Kittle. If you have a different tight end, I don't think it's wild. Each tight end will have a wide range of tradable players that you could get. Like we did the one on a TikTok on Tyler Warren today with a wide range of wide receivers you can get. But in your specific league, you can only maybe get one or two. It's possible you could get no one to trade you a wide receiver straight up. So if that's the best one you could get, it's clearable. And if you have like Ferguson, Warren, a good tight end to go with, I don't hate that trade. CE been pretty much half managing my girlfriend's team this year. She asked for help, but it's rough. Start Tez or Keon Coleman this week. Give me Tez. Give me Tez by a little bit. Diego El Small, who would I put in the flex? Chase Brown, Metcalf, or Debo? I would go Chase Brown. Lou Cod, thoughts on Alec Pierce and his ceiling as a wide receiver? He's a decent wide receiver too. He was one of the TikToks this week. It's also a YouTube short if you're only on YouTube. Here's Alec Pierce. These ones don't get cover images. It is very unsettling to me to see my face that many times in a row. But so there's some real trades in there. I think he's a solid flex in a lot of spots, but there's also just moves you can make with him. And I described those in the video. But it's Johnny. If you see Chase Brown and Bucky almost identical, who would you rather have of the two? No one. No one. I know, do I accept? Okay, I know if I do accept the trade, I'd have to sit Bucky until next week. Then stay with Chase Brown. If we're not sure that he's going to score more than Chase Brown, we just stay with the one who's scoring. You could also offer that trade next week and stack wins. I don't know that I see them that differently or that they were being drafted that far apart. And I think Chase Brown has kind of gotten back up to where he was with Flacco there moving the offense. Air Jordan says, first time here on Twitch. Thank you for making the jump. Jay Bureau said Woody Marks and DeMarcado. Okay, Woody Marks and DeMarcado for an early 26 second and third. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine. A lot of these guys that show up and have value as running backs, like DeMarcado, I think does nothing next year. Woody Marks, it wouldn't surprise me if he did nothing next year. These guys don't always last. Like Woody Marks is on the same team as Dameon Pierce, who was a 4th round pick, had a good 1 year, and has never been used again. I wouldn't be surprised if they just drafted someone else. They need someone. They're not using Woody Marks as their top option. If they keep the same coach, they might just replace Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon with someone in the draft or free agency, and Woody Marks could do nothing. So if I can get an early second, I think an early second becomes a better player or could be traded for a better player. Michael Regine, what defense do I prefer for the playoffs? Saints, Tampa. I have not looked. I try not to even play with defenses, Michael. I'm sorry. Lou, prediction. Do you think Justin Jefferson has a better chance of finishing top 5 wide receivers or finish low end of the top 15? I think he's more likely to be top 5. Blake Rule, should I trade CeeDee, Rice, and Laporta for Tyler Warren, JSN, Cade Otton, and Olave? I don't know that you do. Like, do we need to go from CeeDee with your team? Do we need to go from CeeDee and Rice to JSN and Olave? Don't CeeDee and Rice score more than JSN and Olave? Maybe. I think so. And then why are we bringing in Tyler Warren and Cade Otton? I don't want to start a tight end at flex and bring in 2 tight ends. I don't think I'm doing that. I want to go 4 to 3. I don't want to go 3 to 4 in most situations. Michael Regine, Marks, or Chase Brown? I'm going Chase Brown. Parker Rogers, I was worried about starting 2 people on the same team, Henderson and Diggs, but I was very wrong. Yes. You just got to worry about the buys. 2 players on the same team is not that bad. I still have Otton and White playing, so we'll see how that goes. Just picked up Trey Tucker on waiver wire. Should I even stash Benson? I would stash Benson ahead of Trey Tucker. Like, look at the game last night. Parker Rogers. Can you name any of the Jets wide receivers? I mean, you could easily name Adonai Mitchell, who they just traded for, but just because a team doesn't have great wide receivers, like, it doesn't make Trey Tucker good. If there's no one better than Trey Tucker, that doesn't mean he doesn't stink. I've been #1 Trey Tucker hater all year. I would rather just have Benson. Dallas Lamb, someone drops Jayden Daniels. I have Love and Daniel Jones. Should I stash Daniels? You can. But I would rather, a lot of the time, I would rather be looking for guys having great late seasons. Like Amon-Ra's breakout as a rookie didn't happen until like week 11. So we can still see guys show up and be very good. So I don't know that I want to miss on that for the chance at Jayden Daniels holding multiple. You have Love and Jayden Daniels. Like, in this situation, like, You don't even need Jordan Love. I guess you'll use him this week with Daniel Jones out, but I don't know that Jordan Love should be rostered in most leagues. Shane says I'm late again. Whatever. You show up when you show up. This is for you. It's not you coming here to be for me. That's not the way it goes. And geez, I'm still 10 minutes behind. A full hour, I'm still way behind. Texas Tejano. I thought we got that one, Texas Tejano. I said I went with RJ Harvey with your options. Woody Marks, RJ Harvey, Jacoby Myers, or Aaron Jones. I'm going to go with the upside on Harvey if there's no Dobbins. Otherwise, I would probably go Aaron Jones. Michael Regine, would you start Pearsall if he plays over Burden, like Luther Burden? Yeah, I would start him over Luther Burden. And then Alec Iamaner, I would start Pearsall over both of those guys. Jacob Broussard, should I trade T. Higgins, Pickens, and Woody Marks for Chase Brown and Odunze? You can. I would want Odunze to be I would want Odunze to be a Buka. And then I would be like, yes, 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 yes. But do I know that Odunze is outscores T. Higgins rest of season or outscores Pickens rest of season? I don't know. So would I do T. Higgins and Marks for Chase Brown? I guess I could. Yeah, that seems okay. No, I'm just being dumb. I would do that. I would do that. Scuba Steve, party don't start till you walk in. Talking about Shane. Lost a follower since last night, so only 199. That happens. That happens. Do not worry about it. Do not worry about it. Don't worry at all. No, I'm being stupid and forgetting. Shane, you're gonna get, if anyone making TikToks, don't look at the numbers going down. It is most likely, I don't know if you've gotten them, Shane. Once I started going live, I would get, and I still get them. Someone sent a message saying, you make me feel so attractive when you're live. It's a bot. I'll get a bunch of people with like odd names sending, join my TikTok agency. And when you don't respond, they unfollow or they're getting banned. Don't worry if you go from 200 to 199, or if there was a day it just dropped like 10. And I think it's just a TikTok ban wave because I don't think I was that annoying that people unfollowed. So don't sweat it. It is not real people leaving, which also maybe figure in like 199 might not be 199 real people. It's a very, very small number. So 199 is very good. Most people don't get there. Keep pushing. Zach, would you rather drop Hawkinson or Loveland for Zach Ertz? Probably Hawkinson. Let's stay with the upside for Loveland. E. Diggle, am I crazy to want a second of these running backs in first with Jacobs, Jamar, and Amon-Ra St. Brown? I don't know what you mean. Am I crazy to want a second of these running backs? Texas Tejano sending 100 coins. That showed a little Super Nintendo. Thank you, Texas Tejano. Do I see a question from you? I don't. We got Tejano sending lots of top gifter on TikTok. Okay, I have James Cook and I was offered Judkins straight up 1-for-1. What do you think? I like James Cook more. I don't do a lot of, if in the flip, I say a lot that I wouldn't do a lot of 1-for-1 same positions, but I would just send Judkins for James Cook. So I would stay there. Zach, would you rather drop Hawkins if we covered E. Diggle? We didn't understand what it meant. I'm Lizard. Amon-Ra, Kyron Gadsden for McBride and Achane. Kyron Gadsden for McBride? I guess. Amon-Ra for Achane? I'd rather have Amon-Ra. Could you get something better? This doesn't seem like a for sure win. Achane, I think, is like a little smidge higher. D'Andro, I got a long ad. Did you answer mine? D'Andro, we do have a be cool rule. We do have a be cool rule. If you just say, hey, I was on ads and just retype it, I will read it without mentioning the ad part. But if you say, did I answer yours? The answer is yes. We cover everything. So the answer is definitely yes. And if it got stuck on ads, like there's a way around those ads, but we stick with be cool. If you repost it and say that, I will read it without mentioning it. Scuba Steve, would you rather hold Kincaid or Ayuk in an IR spot? I would rather hold Kincaid. I don't know when Ayuk is coming back. And then following up on D'Andro, I'm just not going to scroll up because I would never be able to find back where I left off. And I don't see yours on the screen. Fritzy Bitsy, I'm in shambles. 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Oh, Watson, Coleman, Krusky, Merritt, Tajay, or Ridley. I guess I'll go Tajay Spears and Christian Watson. Prince Maury, Harvey Adams, and Jawan for McBride and Diggs. I could. I think I would hold for the week. I mean, if you want to, like, the way I'm breaking it down, like Adams for McBride, I think people prefer McBride. I made a video about McBride and people were very, very strongly saying they prefer McBride to Devontae Adams. So would I do that to get McBride? Sure. And then Harvey and the tight end, Jawan Johnson. So would I trade Harvey for Diggs? Like, I could. Yeah, that seems okay. Like, Harvey might have a big week. You got to be willing to settle for that. But yeah, I could take Diggs. Diggle, do I need another running back? First in a 12-man league. You have Allen, Jamar. None of these are running backs. Jacobs, Dowdle, Smith, Monty. No, you don't. Jacobs, Dowdle, and Monty, that's plenty. I'm Lizard says let. Okay. Trey Tucker or Quentin Johnson from Pablo. I'll go Quentin Johnston. Elijah V, Sutton, and Hunter Henry for Pickens. Sure. Yeah, I think Pickens a little bit. Air Jordan, he threw in Marquise Brown. I now trade, thank goodness, Bo and T for Lamar and Chase and Hollywood Brown. That's like a droppable tier player. So sure, that's the guy he was going to drop in the deal. You could push him to say, hey, don't give me the guy you were just going to drop. But that's kind of why I like doing two for, I mean, no, I mean, you would just be dropping Hollywood Brown and picking up someone better. So it doesn't change anything. Mr. Luckabee, do you think trading Henderson and Alec Pierce for Derrick Henry is possible? I think it's possible. It's not possible in every league, but it would not surprise me if next week I was able to find that in the database that someone had done that. Michael says Stafford or Caleb. I have Caleb ahead this week. Lou Codd, player in my league, just dropped RJ Harvey. Is he a must add and start over Tet McMillan? I often don't guess if a league is more shallow, but is that a more shallow league? Like more shallow than 12 teams? Is it 10 or 8? Yeah, you should pick up RJ Harvey. At this point, you have enough time. Like, I would drop my defense. I would drop my kicker to pick him up because I don't want to drop Tet McMillan. But if that's why I thought like it might be a more shallower league if you were dropping Tet McMillan and not someone like Trey Tucker or Hunter Henry. But yeah, you got to pick him up because it's a similar situation to what we just had last night with Henderson. I don't think he's as good, but the guy ahead of him is out and he should get more touches and opportunities. But I mean, 3 touchdowns is unlikely, but he'll have a larger load. Gross. Vivi Mochito, someone just offered me Franklin for Addison. I don't know that I'm doing that. Chesticles, would you trade Tet for Judkins? I would send to Tet and get Judkins. I did Judkins as a video today for trade values as well. So you can get some other ideas of what I would do with Judkins. And that one is on YouTube as a short. Judkins trade value. It's also on TikTok. It's the same video. Shane Kindred, my live workouts have been the best for me, getting 5 to 12 followers per. Yeah, lives are the best way. So if you're able to do lives, that's why I do lives. Jeff Boudreau was wondering if you think Zay, like Drew sending roses. Thank you, Drew. Drew says James Cook or Vidal. I have James Cook ahead this week and rest of season. And then we just jumped over. We covered Chesticles, Nasser's back, Michael Stash, Judy or Luther Burden. I think a slight edge to Judy, but we'll change. You can change it after a week. DeHandro is who we missed. Should I trade Genty and Ladd for RJ? No, the and should be on the other side there. Like RJ and Genty to get Ladd is closer, but no, I would not trade Genty. Oh, wait. Would I trade Genty for Ladd and RJ? Yes. Yeah, I just read that wrong. I would take Ladd there. You don't beg it. I don't know how to say it. You don't say it is more like it. Start Rome Adunze or Travis Etienne. I think I go Travis. They're very close. Honestly, you could probably just package both of those and get a much better one player and come out way ahead. And that's most likely the answer. Luca traded away Mahomes, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown, and Jawan Jennings for Jalen Hurts, Jamison Williams, Khalil Shakir, and Javonte Williams. Then flip both Williams and Judkins for Justin Jefferson and Jalen Warren. The power of sending trades is elite. Okay, thank you. I started reading that. I saw it was long and thought, hopefully I don't have to remember everything I'm saying, because I have already forgotten everything I just said, except for the power of sending trades is elite, because it is. Be the one sending out these trades, these 2-for-1s, these 3-for-2s. It almost always favors the side getting 2. Jack 10 Bush, first time Rose gifter on TikTok. Thank you very much. Jay Moore sending goats on TikTok. Thank you. Tanner on TikTok, the number 1 TikTok tapper. The number one tapper on TikTok, which means number 1 liker. I just sit and double tap the screen like that, and that likes it. Just rolling your fingers when I'm watching live streams, which I do from time to time. Well, who was I looking for? It was Tanner. Trade Puka, Pitts, and Hunt for McBride and Henry. Like Hunter Henry. Do I think it's fair? Yeah, it sounds like you don't have a tight end. Maybe you have a bunch of receivers. Would I send Puka for Trey McBride and Derrick Henry? I could do Trey McBride and Derrick Henry. I don't know that I'm always doing it. Nate says Odunze for Omarion in Dynasty. Ooh. That doesn't seem crazy. The swap. Jay Moore sending roses, GG's, Nate sending high bears. Jay Moore dropping loads of stuff. Thank you, Jay Moore. Let's just get a gauge of what other people think. I know this is super flexible. Turn that off. I think you're in a 1 QB. Really just checking what is everyone else think. I think Omarion Hampton. I mean, in startups, Omarion Hampton was going ahead. He's still favored ahead, and I might take Hampton. Yes. Can Omarion Hampton be a top 4, top 3 running back? Yeah. Is Rome Odunze going to get up to Justin Jefferson levels? I don't think so. Probably gets into the same range as like what Nico Collins had ever gotten up to. Yep, Nate, we turned Superflex off for you. It doesn't make a big difference, but I assumed you weren't in I don't remember most teams, but I do remember you. So yeah, I could take the Hampton side. Thick Luigi, Henderson dropped 30 on me. I'm sick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it went down that way. Wait, Tris LaPointe found you from Discord. Oh, someone just posted your stream here. You should thank them. That's not, don't go to this Discord. Oh, you guys won't have access to go to that. Tris LaPointe's probably just a bot. Did we cover Jeff? Covered Shane? Covered Jeff? Oh, no, we didn't. Zay, ETN, and Devonta Smith for Bijan is too much. I don't think it's too much. You could probably get them to throw in another thing. If you're there sending Bijan and sending you, and you're sending 3 players, that means they got to drop 2. So who are they dropping? See if you can get that thrown in. I don't think it's too much because you'll probably get someone back or someone on waivers. Ethan, whoa. Thank you for that, Ethan. Party glasses with a little party hat, little nerd hat for me. B-Fish says, what should I try to get for Nico? I don't know. Did I do Nico on one of these? I know I did Nico Collins a couple weeks ago, within the past couple weeks, B-Fish on TikTok. So you can scroll down and see that one, and the values would be the same. The values would be very similar. Sports Jazz fan, do you think a Henderson owner would take Javonte and Sutton for him, or am I giving up too much? I think you'd be giving up too much there. Neffits, start BTJ or Dobbs? I think BTJ. I think BTJ if he's playing. Ethan with a follow. Oh, thank you, Ethan. Ethan had also said the party glasses. Jay Moore dropping roses as well. Here's Jay Moore. Would you sell Saquon, Dowdle, or Jonathan Taylor? It's a 14-man league. I would sell every single one of them, Jay Moore. I would sell every single one of them, Jay Moore, but it doesn't mean I'm going to. I would shop every single one of them. It doesn't mean that I'm always taking every deal. It doesn't mean that I'm taking the best deal offered to me, but I do want to shop all of them. The best way to win your league, Jay Moore, is to just be on top of who in your league values how they value other players. what do all the managers in your league think of these guys? Someone might love these guys. Someone might overpay you for Jonathan Taylor. Got a missed call. It says potential spam. Xavier with a hat and mustache. Thank you, Xavier. Xavier says, would you take DJ Moore over any of these guys? JMO, Sutton, Addison. No, I wouldn't. And I love my sweet little DJ Moore. But I couldn't do it. He's level 9. Xavier's level 9. Okay, Lockett or Lou Cod says it's only 8. I have an extra spot in my lineup. I'm not dropping Tet. Nice. Where are we? Sports GS fan, we covered. Lou trade away Justin Jefferson and Jake Ferguson for James Cook and Trey McBride. It's possible. It's possible. Shane says, did you do something new with the OBS layout? Yes. Let me go to where it shows up. I changed the chat. The chat was only Twitch chat, and now it is both combined. So anyone watching the stream on YouTube and Twitch would see the YouTube and Twitch chat. So I can try to find a way to change the setting if it's not readable, but that's built into the app I use. And then it shows, oh yeah, it shows on the top. It shows some of those are not accurate. Like there is no Zorbal 66, I don't think. But as seen on as Sean on TV with the YouTube sub now gets their name on there, but Pro Gamer Moves right there is one of the placeholder ones. I think that's for cheering. Those are just built into the software I use. Zorblat, I don't think is real. It might just be as more people do things. But as Sean on TV is a YouTube sub. Thank you for that. Bow Bulldog with the YouTube sub. Thank you for that. Thick Luigi, we covered about Henderson. Luke, I have an extra roster spot from a trade. Scuba Steve cheered 20 bits. This minute, did it work? We'll see. Thank you for the bits. Scuba Steve, big Judkins guy. No, I'm not. Probably bad human. Lux, pick 2, Montgomery, Harvey, Tez Johnson, Shaheed, or Pearsall. I might just end up going Montgomery and Harvey there. Pearsall would probably be my third option. I'm just going for what do I know? And I feel like I know what Montgomery will do. I feel like I know enough about RJ Harvey getting a bigger role. Thick Luigi, start Derrick Henry or George Pickens in the flex. Cleveland has a tough run defense. They do. They do. How did he do against them in week 2? I think he wound up doing okay. They do a very good run defense, and a 1-game sample size isn't a perfect option. He scored 2 Yeah, you could chill on Derrick Henry. You could chill on him. He scored 2 fantasy points against Cleveland last time. Lou says, I don't usually like starting players coming back from injury, especially an ankle injury like BTJ, but I could totally be wrong. If you have another option, I think it's fine. I typically do go back to them. Like, there's a week that CeeDee Lamb came back and was amazing. And that same week, George Kittle came back and did nothing. So it does go both ways. So I typically will, if the team says they're healthy, I go with them. Aubrey Lopez on YouTube, thank you for the question. Trade Justin Jefferson or Rice for Henderson? No, you should get way more than just Henderson. You should get way more back. Q launch. My quarterback is on bye this week. Should I pick up Rodgers or Stafford? I would just go with Stafford. Chase Rahman, Dowdle, and Bucky for Bijan. That seems like a little bit over, but not a ton over. We have a lot of spam from Kick bots. I'm going to keep trying it. That if people watch things on Kick, I should be there. But I might need to do something with the chat here because it is nothing but spam. Spam bots. Did you see what they said about you in the Discord? There's 3 of them at the same time posting the same thing. I don't think it's real people. Zane Crazy 367 with the follow on TikTok. Norton Anthology says, what's going on? What's up, man? Jeff Boudreau. Jeff, we covered that one. I don't think it's too much. ETN's on the bench. Juwan Jennings would be a starter after the trade until McLaurin comes back. There could be someone else that's good. That's better than Juwan available. But it's a lot. I don't think it's too much, and I would ask the Bijan owner, hey, send me something back that you were going to drop. Robin, San Pedro, Collins, and Chase Brown for CD and Marks. There are times where I would do that, Robin. So you're sending Nico Collins and Chase Brown, but you're getting CeeDee Lamb and Woody Marks. We're down tiering from Chase Brown. If we're not starting Chase Brown in our lineup, I'm fine with down tiering from my bench, like swap in case of emergency piece. I want as much stuff moving up into the lineup. Riker Dempsey with the follow on TikTok. Thank you very much. Zane Crazy with all caps chat spam. So we'll just say goodbye to Zane Crazy. Chris Bliss, Tet and Kelsey for Kittle and Pearsall. Yeah, I could take Kittle there. I really like Tet, but I feel more confident about Kittle over Kelsey, and I feel okay about Pearsall. Aubrey Lopez, we covered that one. Aubrey, you only got to post it once. I'm not that far behind, am I? Dear God, I'm way behind again. Raise Temp, Nico or Ibuka this week. Check the ranks on that one. Ethan, we're to send in a controller. Ethan says Bowers and Dobbs for CD. Would I send Brock Bowers and Dobbs for CD or Ferguson and Dobbs for CD? If I could send Ferguson and Dobbs, I would rather send that. I would rather send that one. Who did I just? Oh, Nico or Ibuka this week. I know I said check the ranks, but I'll also just tell you. I have Nico at 9 and Ibuka at 12. So they're both good. I'm also playing JSN and Rice. Nice. I'm Lurksy. Is Trey Tucker and Tyler Warren for McBride fair? Absolutely. I think I'd rather get punched in the face than have Trey Tucker on my roster at all. So if I could move Tyler Warren and nothing for Trey McBride, I would do that. Mr. Luckaboo sent the Henderson and Pierce for Derrick Henry, and the guy said he wouldn't start Pierce, so he couldn't do it. I can understand that. Astro Jack, trade Rice/Rico for Jacobs and Olave. I already have a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't think I want to do that. Do I? Rice for Jacobs, Rico for Olave. I think I want just Rice and Rico. I think I want the Rice and Rico side. And it's not enough. Like, I think I just prefer that one on value quite a bit. So even if it helps your lineup, I think I would try to find something else. Chase Ramen, actually Lux, by the way. Pick 2, Montgomery Harvey. Didn't we cover this? I think I said Montgomery Harvey. You posted it again a minute after. Where is this guy? I've spent this much time asking, where is this guy? I can't go back now. Okay, they are banned. We're not spamming. Did it work, Scuba Steve? I don't think so. Which is a bummer. That's weird. Do I need to clear them? Pro Gamer moves right there. I'm not sure. There's TikTok follows coming through. I'm getting distracted on this stuff. This is why all right, Luxby, by the way, gone. Chase Ramen says Dowdle and Bucky for Bijan is scared of the week 14 bye and Bucky missing more playoffs are close. Like here's the good advice for everyone, or the best way I can take this question and give advice to everyone. Chase says, would I send Rico Dowdle and Bucky for Bijan? And then gives a lot of context. I'm scared of the week 14 bye and Bucky missing more playoffs. Not everyone is scared. People will just pay. You might be saying, like, I got to sell these guys low because you're worried about an upcoming bye, or you're worried about Bucky missing more time. Your fears are not everyone's fears. So sell them at the full price. Just because you're afraid doesn't mean you should knock their prices way down. And I think the price is a little bit down on that deal. Sports Jazz fan, thanks for your Henderson answer. I don't remember it, but you're welcome. Are we starting Vidal with confidence this week? Define confidence. I have him at 20. I would confidently start 19 guys ahead of him, and then I would confidently start about 20 guys after him. That's about all I could all I could say on that one. Myers or Monungai are other options. I would go Vidal over those options. I think we covered Astro Jack. Nasser, would you do Josh Jacobs and Puka for McCaffrey and JSN? Like, why do we have to include Puka and JSN on here? Would I do Josh Jacobs for McCaffrey? Sure. So I guess I would do Puka for JSN on top. Elijah V, Goddard, and Tet McMillan for Tyler Warren. Yeah, I could take Tyler Warren. I'm Lurksy. We covered VV, trade Kittle for Nico Collins. I have Gatson as a backup tight end. I think I like Nico more. CE says, just watch the new vid. Appreciate you covering Lamar as a Lamar owner. Some of these trades on the database were crazy low. Yes, they are crazy low. They are crazy low, but they are real. I don't make them up. So yeah, I think I specifically mentioned, so on this video, it says AJ Brown and more, but we did cover Lamar Jackson trade value in here. There's low prices. People are sending Lamar away for cheap. But you find that with each player. There's some weird trades. People make some weird trades. Raise temp, do I play Nico or Ibuka? Do I think Rice will be bad against the Broncos? I have Rashee Rice at 7 on the week. Do I think he'll be bad against the Broncos? I don't think so. Nico or Ibuka? I have Nico at 9, Ibuka at 12. Bryant Blue, I have Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, and Purdy. Which two do I start? Do we go with Purdy against the Cardinals over Aaron Rodgers? I'm going Darnold, and I think Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals. In Apache with the follow on TikTok. Thank you. They said Bijan for Saquon and Devontae Adams. I really like Devontae Adams. So I could do that. Do you need the consolidation or do you need the split? If you're pushing stuff, like if we're getting a deeper bench doing this, I don't really want that unless I can then trade away those bench options. Nasser says, would you do Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, and Dallas Goedert for JSN and Christian McCaffrey? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would. Poopy Breath Fart. Is that a family name, Poopy B? Would you rather have Brees or Judd? Would you rather have Brees or Judkins or ETN rest of season? I guess Judkins by a little bit. Think Luigi loved the enthusiasm after seeing Henry score against the Browns. He scored 2 points. He scored 2 points. We hope that we hope that they make some changes. Teams can make changes. 2 points in the past is not a good sample size of what will happen in the future. Nike Rise, which side do you like? DK Metcalf and Woody Marks, or AJ Brown and Kamara? Do I have to pick? Maybe AJ Brown and Kamara. Scuba Steve with the cheering did it work. I think that was a while ago. Karkis with the follow on Twitch. Thank you. I see it gone. I don't know what that Scuba, what does that mean? This was also from, that's only 5 minutes ago. Gmora, Chargers or Seahawks defense? Don't the Seahawks play the Rams? Give me the Chargers against the Jags. Uh-oh. Norton. Sam Laporta missed practice day for the third straight day. So JMO stock up this week? I don't know that it always means that. I wouldn't heavily tweak my Jameson Williams ranking based on Laporta missing time. It could be Isaac Tesla getting more work. It could be a backup tight end out there. It could be more running. It doesn't just go to pass catchers. Sometimes just targets just go away. Sometimes like the team is worse and targets just go away. Lucott, is Rico Dowdle top 12 rest of season? I've got him like top 15. But he's up there. Luke, is Kamara a drop? I'm in an 8-man team. So in an 8-man team, he's getting close. In an 8-man team, he's close. Shadow trying to trade away my wide receiver depth. Trey Tucker, Parker Washington, Ridley to try to get a startable RB2. No one's biting. That could just be because it's Trey Tucker. I was willing to trade a lot for Algier, but he wanted Javonte Williams. That seems nuts. What's the best thing to do? I mean, Trey Tucker is. I don't like Trey Tucker. I don't like Trey Tucker. Let's. There's a lot of things on Kick that says this stream sucks. Mine is way better. Guys, this is a hellhole. What kind of a website is this? Shadow, we covered that one. Norton Anthology, remember to hit the like chat. Hey, if you're on YouTube and you hit the like, I would appreciate it. Norton saying, remember to hit the like. I am not Norton, but if you did, I think it shows a little thing for me. Let me switch over to the YouTube view. I think it shows little likes popping up. I see them on TikTok. We got Ethan on TikTok, Saquon and Jake Ferguson for Waddle and Chase Brown. Would I send I just have to repeat it so I can think it. Would I send Saquon and Jake Ferguson for Waddle and Chase Brown? No, I want the Saquon side. Vince Maldo, Vidal or Marks? I would go Vidal. Andrew Azer on TikTok with the follow. Anthony Richardson, hope your face heals. Start Lamar or Flacco? I would start Lamar. Bustos, Dak or Herbert? I think I have Dak ahead. Shadow, we covered. Car keys. I have running back room of Achan, Rico, Judkins, Etienne, Brown, Hampton. Second place. Do I start trading for a star or stay by? Car keys, I want to consolidate. If you only have to start 2 running backs, I'd be fine only having 2. 2 and maybe a third. So I would consolidate for better wide receivers and then flip wide receivers for running back or don't flip them for running back and just consolidate for better wide receivers. I want the best starting lineup. Raise temp, am I worried about Rice against Denver? Should I swap him for Ibuka or Nico? At that range, you could, and I wouldn't call you crazy. But if I have Rice, I'm generally starting him. Pierce Kelly, are we sipping the Jameis Winston tea? Should I start Winston over Flacco? I don't have him over Flacco. I am in a league where I might end up starting Jameis Winston. Not this one. I have Jackson Dart out of the lineup. If Dart gets marked out, I'll probably pick up Jameis Sunday morning. I think I can move Kincaid. Oh, I can't move Kincaid into IR. Thought we had 2 IR spots in this league. So maybe I end up dropping Kincaid and grabbing. I don't know who I'm going to grab. This is a real league. Who's available? Brock Purdy. I might end up starting Purdy. I thought Flacco would be available. Those are the options. Who was your question? Am I sipping Jameis Winston? He's available as well. It's possible. It's possible. I think that's all right. Justin, trade White for Goddard. You had Kraft and Kincaid? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Rashad White's going away. So if you're fine not starting him, like get something for him before he's completely gone. AP12, I made $200 betting that the Jets would score more than 10 points. Thanks for your gambling advice. I'm not giving gambling advice. I'm happy that something worked out for you, but do not look at this as gambling advice. I haven't made a video on this, but I would say fantasy football is closer to Catan than gambling. Like playing Settlers of Catan, a lot of trading wheat for brick or whatever. There's way more trading and social and relationships than gambling. Luis Alvarez, would you do Pittman and Chase Brown for Rashee Rice? Yeah. You already have Puka and Waddle. Would I do Pittman and Chase Brown for Rashee Rice? That's not too much for me to do that. Mr. Luckaboo, I'm hoping one of these trades gets accepted. I'm shooting high. Henderson and Pierce for CeeDee Lamb or Dowdle. You are shooting high. You are shooting high. Hey, we'll see. I don't know that you're going to get that much for Pierce. I don't think that was the level of up tier that I had in the trade video about Pierce from yesterday. So if you have Alec Pierce, we covered that one. Things you could use him for. But I don't know that you're going to get that. Let's see. AP, Pearsall or Juwan Jennings rest of season? I think it's Pearsall, but man, I'm not confident. Alex Savin. Justin, why are we spamming on YouTube, Justin? It's the first time I've seen you. We cover everything on YouTube and Twitch. Give you a little warning. Alex Evan need a running back too. Woody, Judkins, or Harvey? Probably Judkins. Harvey's a good option too. I would have both of those guys ahead of Woody Marks. Would I rather have Genty or Judkins rest of season? C. Marinas? I would just be happy with either one. I'd be happy with either one. Q launch was offered James Cook for Kyron and Pickens. Can't see Pickens play. Okay, you was offered James Cook for Kyron and Pickens, and you can't see Pickens playing in my lineup. You might be able to get more, and not a lot more, but a small thing thrown on top of James Cook, and I could do that up tier. You don't see Pickens playing in your lineup, like get another emergency wide receiver. Like if Pickens is your emergency guy, I am okay with down tiering your emergency guy to make your lineup better. So moving from Kyron to Cook, but I'd want you to get a little something back. Astro Jack says, thank you for your response. Who would you target Rico and Rice for in a 2-4-1? Rico and Rice projections scare you? I don't worry a ton about playoffs, but I already have the YouTube pulled up. If you're building a package to up tier, this is how I build my 2-for-1 packages. Paolo says, good luck to another fantasy win this week. Yes. Start 4. Pickens, Ladd. Rondale White? So that's probably Rashad White. Let's see, Pickens, Ladd, Debo, Parker, Pearsall. Who's Parker? It's probably not Parker, the wide receiver. I think I'm going Ladd, Debo, Pearsall, and Pickens. Steve Hampson with the follow. Mickey Mikey, start 1. Michael Wilson, Parker Washington, or Tez Johnson. I have to start 1. Parker Washington. Blake Paul says, really like the channel and the transparency. Thank you. Try to stay transparent. I don't know what I would hide. George, play 2, half PPR. Tracy, AJ Brown, Rashad White, Zay Flowers. I think I'm Zay Flowers and AJ Brown there. Logan, do you think I should take Quinshawn for Tet and Aaron Jones? Yeah, if it's just a redraft league, I think trading Tet for Judkins, you could probably then trade Judkins for an even better receiver. And then you also get Aaron Jones. Oh, you send Aaron Jones. Yeah, I think that's fine. If it's just a redraft and that's what you confirmed. I've got Nate on TikTok. Just got Javonte Williams for a late second. Not bad. Let's get you the championship. Nate 03 on YouTube, Vidal or Woody for flex this week. I have Vidal ahead. I have him at 20 playing the Jaggies and Woody Marks at 25 playing the Titans. Unspoken Legends is here. Hope we're all having a good day today. Has there been any updates on Ladd? He was limited Wednesday and Thursday. I think he's all right. I think our sweet little Ladd is okay. Cleared to face the Jags 27 minutes ago. We're good. He still wears a giant helmet, but he's ready to go. Bucket getter. Give up Pittman and Vidal for Judkins. I could. I don't know that. I think we're shooting a little bit low on Pittman there, but it's not crazy. Also burping at the same time. Zach Lund, is Ladd playing this week? And I'll finish bucket getter. Yes, I just saw a chat saying, is Ladd playing this week? That's what it may be small on your screen on TikTok. Ladd McConkey cleared to face the Jags. That's what that says. So he's good to go. Bucket getter, give up Pittman and Vidal for Judkins. I just think you could get another player back with Judkins. Not a big one, but I think you could get another one back. Something is happening. Wilver859, subscribe with Prime this very minute. Thank you very much. Thank you for the Prime sub. Does that put us at the goal? Did we get 4? I don't know. It'll update. It'll tell me if we hit it. I don't know how to look live if we're at the 4 goal. Unspoken Legends, he looks like a toddler dressing as a football player with his helmet. Such a little lad. That little guy. He does just look like a little guy wearing his dad's helmet, running around, breaking bones and such. Where did we leave off? Eli the Reaper on YouTube. Darnold or McCarthy need the upside. I like Darnold a little bit more. I like Darnold a little bit more. Okay, it says almost there. 3 out of 4 new subs on the day. We've got an hour to hit the sub goal and get us up to the 1-day streak. Zach Godin, 22, Mariota or Knicks this week. I would go Knicks. I'm going with Bo Nix. A edits, Justin Jefferson, Bucky Irving, and George Kittle for Jamar Chase and Javonte Williams. I'm staying with the Jefferson, Kittle, Irving side. Do I like Jamar Chase more than Justin Jefferson? Yes. Would I send George Kittle with Justin Jefferson to get Jamar Chase? Probably not. If I'm sending away George Kittle, I think I'm just going to pair him with a different receiver and get a much more clear up tier. I like the rhyme of that. Unspoken Legends, who do you think has a higher chance of hitting 100 yards this week, Kyron or Aaron Jones? Probably Kyron, especially if it's not total yards. If the yardage is combined yardage, like total scrimmage yards, passing and receiving, Aaron Jones could hit 100 that way. Ryan on TikTok asks Otten or Fannin. Let's see. Ryan says Otten or Fannin, 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 Otten or Fannin. We're just going to go with, I will never tell you that, Ryan. Well, I would. It's right here on the ranks. You could also check it out on our ranks videos, Ryan. If you're willing to spam it, go the extra step. Check out start sits ranks, but I won't do it. I won't read it. I won't tell you, Ryan, if you're a chat spammer. But the answer is right here for you. Start sits ranks. It's broken down game by game. You could see each individual position. If you'd like, Ryan, I can say this. Ryan, I would start, and then you can play that back and then look at the answer. Honey Badger, nothing worse than getting a text in the morning after the trade deadline of a manager saying they would have accepted your trade if they saw it in time. Why even send it? Why even play the game? I wouldn't. I'm sorry someone did that to you. Nate 03, I've got Fidel in my flex and Tez on wide receiver 2 with Debo on the bench. What are your thoughts? I might go with Debo ahead of Tez. Matt B, thoughts on Jacoby over Bo Nix this week? Worried about Kansas City, Denver. Let's see how we did in the matchups last year against Kansas City. Because I don't know that I like Jacoby that much. Bo Nix, has he played Kansas City yet at all this year? Kansas City once, Kansas City again in the future. Last year, he scored 33 points against Kansas City, although that would have been Kansas City resting players, and 16. I'm not that panicked about him that I would go to Jacoby Brissett. I'd like the upside there. I like the upside. I mean, 33 is not realistic to jump back to, but I think I'm fine going with Bo Nix, especially if it's Jacoby Brissett as the option. Do I think Aaron Rodgers is a must start this week versus the Bengals from pull to trigger? No, there's a lot of guys in really good matchups. Someone like just reading the list that I have here with good matchups. I mean, CJ Stroud is out, but I would have had him as a good matchup. Tua playing the Commies is a good matchup. Aaron Rodgers playing the Bengals is a good matchup. Jordan Love playing the Giants is a good matchup. Sam Darnold, no, that's not a good one. Jared Goff playing the Eagles is pretty good, where I would like that. Herbert playing the Jags, I like that. There's a lot of really, really strong matchups that players that would normally not be startable are then startable. Honey Badger was going to get Bijan in that trade, but couldn't get it. I'm sorry to hear it. I don't like a trade deadline. Bucket Getter, should I ask for him to throw in Zay Flowers with Judkins? Zay Flowers with Judkins for Pittman and Vidal? Like, yeah. I don't know if he would, but yeah. CE, weird one. I kind of like, but we need a second opinion. Send Sutton and BTJ for Marv and Kamara. You get Marv's appendicitis, and Kamara appeals to me for some reason. Sutton for Marv, would I even, like, I don't know. I like Kamara. I don't know that I want to do that one. If I have Sutton and BTJ, could I get a better deal in a different spot? I think you could. Mr. Luckaboo, what do you realistically think I could get for Henderson and Pierce? I checked Fantasy Calc and it says Dowdle range. That's high. Yeah, I don't, and it's not going to show anything real because people aren't trading right now. Could you get that? I doubt it. I doubt it. 1-for-1, I think you could get T. Higgins and then maybe swap that for a running back. 2-for-1 could probably also clear T. Higgins. Mappy says, cheers, 2 quarterback league. I have Herbert and QB1 and was choosing between Knicks or Jacoby. That is what I would do. I don't know if it's right, but that is what I would do. Pulled the trigger, Goff or Rodgers. Should have asked that to begin with. Hey, I like that. I like that honesty. I've Goff at 11 and Rodgers at 17. Norton Anthology, Jordan Love is a space cadet. Do not trust him. I have him at 16. I'm not trusting him. Just have him in an okay matchup. The Citizen in PPR, I got offered a Rico, Pittman, and Tet. Rico, Pittman, and Tet. You got offered Rico Dowdle, Pittman, and Tet for CD, DK, and DeMarcado. I think I'm staying with CD and DK. Do you need, like, if you need a running back, you could try to find one in a different way. I don't know that I want to split up CeeDee Lamb like that. We're trying to get all of our stuff into our lineups for the playoffs. Bucket getter, would Pickens and Vidal for Judkins be better? I feel like it should just, I mean, sure, Vidal isn't holding that much value. So Pickens to Judkins is also fine. Let me read a couple other of yours because maybe I've just been brain farting on this. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Pittman for Judkins, I guess that's fine, especially if you have Pickens and you're just doing a swap. Who would I rather send? I'm not that concerned. Probably Pittman. I'd probably rather send Pittman. And then I keep seeing Vidal and thinking he's holding a ton of value, and that's probably wrong. So bring it in Judkins in that way with just one of those guys is okay. If you can get him to throw another receiver, cool. 2 seconds for Pittman, that's not bad, Nate. 2 seconds for Pittman isn't crazy. Let's get a gauge of, because I think you could even get that right back in the offseason. Talking for Dynasty, he's right now is wide receiver 8. This will dip because he's on bye this week, so it's just going to take a dip. I'm looking at a player who's 28. The closest example I can come up with is someone like Terry McLaurin last year. He finished as wide receiver 7. If he has a similar year, Terry McLaurin would have been doing that at a year older. There were leagues where you could move Pittman for a first, or where you could move Terry for a first this offseason. So you might be able to get 2 seconds right back out of Pittman at the end of the year. So it's just a straight rental. Maybe you have to move those seconds into a different year, but I'm fine with doing that. Matt B, one other question, BTJ or Myers for the flex? If BTJ goes, I'll go with him over Myers. Another week of practice for Myers may see more targets. Yeah, that's also fine. Fine thoughts. Another week we may lead to more targets. He had 3 on the week in a tough matchup. Like I was saying last week, I didn't want to start Myers in general just because of how tough it would be against Houston. Playing the Chargers, it's also a little tough, but it's not as bad as the Texans. Unspoken Legends, Vidal got that mountain into a valley type scoring. Just doing nothing. Ricardo Infinity on TikTok. Parker Washington or Quentin Johnston? I think I'm giving the slight edge to Quentin Johnston. Flacco or Purdy this week from Jew? I would go Flacco. Jeremias. There's no way I'm getting this right. Rashad White and Pittman for JJ, Justin Jefferson. I would take Justin Jefferson. I don't think that one goes through. If you can get that, I would take Justin Jefferson. Tim Brock. Start, sit, Vidal, or Judkins? I would go Judkins. Tommy, who would you trade Henry and Javonte for? Derrick Henry and Javonte Williams? I would want a lot. Here's what we do. We get that question a lot, Tommy. Not those specific players, but who would I trade those 2 players for? Here's how I build my trades. So we have that on YouTube. It's under 10 minutes long, and this is how I build trades in my real leagues. Rafa with the follow on TikTok. Chase him 1. Jettas, Odunze, Charbonnet for Amon-Ra and Judkins. I guess. Oh, I thought I felt someone tap me on the shoulder. I don't know that I feel like we're getting out on Jettas at the low end there. And a little bit low on Charbonnet. I don't hate it, but I don't know that I would do it. Saying you don't need Charbonnet. He still has some value, and I don't know that you're getting enough for him. Or for Odunze. Actually, would I trade Odunze for Judkins? I guess I would. And then Jettas for Charbonnet. Jettas and Charbonnet for Amon-Ra. That's not crazy. And then you get another bench spot. I don't know that I'm like jumping up and down slam dunk, but that one seems okay. Eshwi, trade opinion, Aaron Jones and Tet for Aaron Jones and Tet McMillan for Pickens and Hubbard. Yeah. Yeah, Pickens is doing what I want Tet to do, and would I trade Aaron Jones to get up to that? I think we're okay. Chris Apps Porzingis with the follow. Thank you, Big CP. Chase one trying to pick up a 4th star RB. I don't remember what we're. Oh, I have Kyron and Cooks. Don't need Sharb. I don't remember what the other deal is. Yeah. Push it all to the lineup. Drake M traded Henderson and Pittman for Jefferson. And it's a crying face. I think I might just, if I had that option, would go do that now. If you wanted, couldn't you just get a better running back for Jefferson if that's your worry? Cammy locks him in the final week of trades for my 12-man, currently in 2nd, but want to make that push to win it all. Who should I trade for if my wide receivers are BTJ, Jettas, Flowers? This is just your whole team. Cammy locks, just come up with pairings and run this. This is what I would do. 2-for-1s with all of those options. I see probably 7 or 8 names. So how many combos of 2 players can you make? And then send out trades. It's not as scientific as you're making it out to be. 2-for-1 is just very, very valuable. 2-for-1 is just real valuable. Nate G, Knox or Hawk? I would go Hawkinson. Keenan on TikTok says traded London and ETN for Christian McCaffrey. Okay. Carlos Sanchez says, should I sell Henderson? Carlo, the answer is always yes. Should you sell him for the best offer that you get? No. But should you always shop your players? Yes. Shop them. What are you trading him for? Like, you don't even know yet. You would have told me, because I have a lot of things saying here, should I trade so-and-so for someone else? Like here, would you go Sean Tucker over Rashad? That I would go Rashad White there. A lot of people are offering real trades. This is just, should I sell Henderson? Probably, but I don't know what you're getting. O'Reilly, do I think Laporta will play? I don't do a lot of injury guessing. Not expected to practice on Friday. They'll know about this really just says they will know about. Dan Campbell said the team will know about Laporta's availability for the Week 11 showdown on Sunday night. The Lions haven't really been cagey in the past on player health, like maybe the 49ers are. The Jets have been under their new head coach. Dan Campbell hasn't really been in his years. So if he's saying they'll know more Sunday, like, they don't know. Dappy Duck, what tight end do we think I could trade RJ Harvey for? We could look, but that's a tough one. Here are real trades that have happened for Harvey for any tight end. Kyle Pitts, Jawan Johnson. It's not promising. Dallas Goedert. You could probably get that. Zach Ertz and Rashad White. I don't know that I want to. Wise sending a heart me. Thank you, Wise. Camiox says, are you able to repeat what I said? What's the question? Naheem, CeeDee, Judkins, and Dowdle for Gibbs, London, and Chase Brown. Naheem also, is this the same one as on YouTube? Do I try to go? Okay. Naheem says CeeDee, Judkins, and Dowdle for Gibbs, London, and Chase Brown. I think I'm taking Gibbs, London, and Chase Brown there. If we go CeeDee to Gibbs, fine. Judkins to London, yes. Dowdle to Chase Brown, fine. So I think I'm just taking the London side. Wise says I have 5 starting running backs and JSN. Would you trade Saquon and Rome for Jamar? I'd be getting Jamar. That feels like a lot to put on top to get Jamar. I feel like you could get another thing back. But yes, I could, especially if I'm getting another thing back. Like, it doesn't have to be a ton, but he's going to have to drop someone to trade one player and get 2. Who's he dropping? Who could you get him to throw in there? Mason with the follow. Thank you. Mason says, and Summer David 2005. Classic David. That was a great year for David's. Great season for David's. Summer, David in summer. 2005? I was 17. That's a great David. Mason says, trade London for Nico Collins and AJ Brown. I need the depth and my flex spot is weak. I don't mind that one. I think we're getting an okay price on there. London and Nico. I prefer London, but not a ton. Drake M says, where could I upgrade the best? Drake has been sending his message. Okay, Drake has sent his. It's been a while since we did this. Drake sends his roster and says, here are all his players. Where can I update? Drake, we don't do team reviews in the live streams. We do those in our fantasy football Discord, which you can join. It is a free to join Discord. We do offer team reviews, but those are attached to some form of payment. You can gain access to doing team reviews just if you have Amazon Prime. All we ask is that you take your Amazon Prime and connect it to Twitch and then subscribe via Twitch Prime. It costs you no extra money, but it does free you up to get roster reviews. And it does send money from Jeff Bezos to me. And I like me more than I like Jeff Bezos. My wife just laughed. She doesn't like me more than Jeff Bezos. I'm just kidding. She does. She makes that very known. Here's where you can do that. It's on your screen. Here's my mouse in the browser. If you're watching on TikTok, you can just move your eye line down and it'll say weekly ranks. And then it gives a link to ranks. And then it says Discord and it gives a link to Discord. If you punch that in your browser, it will send you an invite. Some people have said they have had issues, but this many people did not have issues. And if this many people did not have issues and you have issues and you can't solve those issues, that might just be user error. User error. Let's keep moving on. Questions like Blake Rule. I don't think we've covered this one. I get JSN, Tyler Warren, and Otten, and Chris Olave. Okay, you get every player on earth. You get JSN, Tyler Warren, Otten, and Chris Olave for CeeDee, Rashee Rice, and Laporta. I mean, can you then move Otten? Do I probably do this deal? We're trading CeeDee, Rice, and Laporta. Getting JSN, Warren, and Chris. Man. We're later in the show. It's 119. Let's crunch the numbers on this one. You get JSN. There are definitely people who post comments on TikTok videos saying anyone who gets JSN is the winner. Is it? It might be. It might be. I don't really want to bring in. Okay, good. I wanted this number to be low because I was just going to cross off K. Otten. Chris Olave. For CeeDee, that's a big boy. Rice, that's a big boy. And Laporte's. Let me just dip that. Yeah, I think I kept seeing 2 big boys here and saying Laporta, maybe we're worried about him missing this week. But if you're really worried about Laporta missing this week, why just trade a little bit for K. Otten. Trade a little bit for Kyle Pitts, a little bit for Zach Ertz. I don't know that I want to send Lamb and Rice for JSN. Tyler Warren is good. Tyler Warren's cool. But I'm not sure I want to do this. It's not insane. But I think I like these big boys. You know I'm a sucker for big boys. Rob D on TikTok. Wandale, Dobbs, J-Mo, Quentin Johnson, Marks, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, start 3. Rob D's been here a while, so I will do this. But man, if it's a question, I feel like some of these, we're all starting Derrick Henry over Romeo Dobbs, right? Do you want to just give me your login, Rob? If we can't pick Derrick Henry over Dobbs. I'm sorry, Rob. Here we go. I will go Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and QJ. QJ over J-Mo. J-Mo, then Close, then Wandale. That's what I would do. Tanner Walker on TikTok. Oh, no. Derrick Henry against Browns. Or RJ Harvey against Kansas City with Dobbins out. I think I still go Derrick Henry. I think I still give a slight edge to Derrick Henry. Rowe, Jennings, or Pearsall. If Pearsall's starting, I'm going with Pearsall. I'm going down with the Pearsall ship. We covered Blake Rule. Gavin just sent Olave, Swift, and Ferguson. Okay, just sent Chris Olave. DeAndre Swift and Ferguson. Making the noises not helping me. Olave, Swift, and Ferguson for Rice, Ramondre, and Laporta. Would I send Olave and Swift for Rice and Ferguson for Rice? Yeah, I like that. Rice, Ramondre, and Laporta. I'll take the Rice side. Locke, I'm really thinking about starting DeMarcado if Knight doesn't play. Oh, if Bam Knight doesn't play, then I'm going DeMarcado. Over Hunter Monty? Maybe not. This one, I don't have a confidence about this. I like Monty's chances at getting a touchdown in any game. So I think I'm going with that. DAC, I have McBride and Ferguson. Who are some good targets for Ferguson? I did some for McBride. I did some for Tyler Warren. I don't think I've done Ferguson. Here is Tyler Warren today, and that would be similar. I did one for McBride a week ago. I could pull up some for Ferguson, but check out those others as well. Levi Salazar followed me on Instagram. Thank you, Levi. Who are we looking for? Ferguson. Here are real trades that have happened for Ferguson. Jordan Addison. Ferguson and Tez Johnson for George Pickens. Levi wants to send me a message on Instagram. That probably won't happen. Do I like Derrick Henry and T. Higgins for Jalen Waddle and Omarion Hampton from Liam Adams? Ooh. Do I like Derrick Henry and T. Higgins for Jalen Waddle and Hampton? I think so. I think I like the Derrick Henry side. I think I like the Derrick Henry side. If I need someone right now and they're good, I like Derrick Henry. Vivi, someone offered to give me. Have I skipped some? I think I skipped some. Gavin says bet. Michael, we covered. DAC, we covered. Blake Rule. Gavin says bet. Yep. VV, someone offered to give me Devontae Adams for Kittle. Who does better week 11? Is Devontae Adams hurt? I think Adams is okay. I think that it said he was cleared to play or on track to play, or they thought he would play. Limited at practice on Thursday. From 18 hours ago, West Coast would practice a little bit later in the day. But the analysis here from just some dude on Fantasy Pros, it appears he will still play on Sunday. I don't know what the source on that one is. So someone offered to give me Devontae Adams for Kittle. If you have a tight end, would I rather have Devontae Adams? I think I would. If you have another tight end, VV. Nate on TikTok, Shakir and a second for T. Yeah, I would take T. Higgins. I would take T. Higgins. I think my thoughts are it would only take, like, the Bills drafted Keon Coleman. It's not working. If it lined up for them to draft someone again, does Shakir, where's his value end up? I think his value takes a hit. Do they keep using him? He's okay, but if I can get T. Higgins for Shakir in a second, yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Bambino, afternoon. What's up, Bambino? And Yatsong, we'll get to Yatsong. Bambino, is Genty a good RB2 for Flowers and another receiver like Shakir? Yeah, I would trade Flowers and Shakir for, I think Genty's okay. You could also ask for Kyron Williams. You could ask for a lot of guys. Yatsaneg. I traded Bijan for DK and Monty while having James Cook. Yatsan. So let's reread this one. I traded Bijan for DK and Monty. I personally would have stayed with Bijan there. And I think a lot of people would have stayed with Bijan there. So I don't know the future on that one yet, but I would have happily stayed with Bijan there. Bambino, is Genty. Yep, we covered that one. Chris made a trade today. Diggs for Olave and Chase. So Diggs and Olave for Chase. So Jamar Chase? I like that trade. Your team now consists of Jamar Chase. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yatsong, just based on how he was performing in the last week, especially this past week, that's how they get you. That's how they get you, Yats. I would have stuck with Bijan there. Rob D, I need 2 at flex, and I have Rashad White and Jacobs at running back. I have Jamar as one of my wide receivers. Primo Sally, Tracy, Michael Wilson, or Myers for the flex. I'm going Jacoby Myers there. Summer David, 2005, classic year for Davids. Judy or Odunze week 11. I would go Odunze, David. Oh, just dreaming of summer 2005. Classic David Summer. Toner, start or sit Rashee Rice this week versus Denver. I'm starting him. Kingslayer, Love or Purdy? Purdy playing he's against the Cardinals, right? Yeah, let's update these ranks. Give me Purdy ahead of Love. Just a smidge. Chris Thomason, guy that sent me Chase, is hurting bad. He's lost Tyreek, Scat, Lamar, and a bit Kraft and Wilson. Oof. We got YouTube Taco. Bucky Irving or Derrick Henry rest of season full PPR. I would put him around the same tier. I would put him right around the same tier. Hanzo says, okay, need you. I will try my best. Rice and Woody Marks versus Collins, Bucky, and Worthy. Would I move Nico Collins and Bucky for Rashee Rice? I don't know that I would pay that much. I don't know that that's what I would look for. Do I think I could get a better 2 players back than Rashee and Woody Marks if I move Nico Collins and Bucky? I think so. Hanzo. So I could, if you think you can trade, if you think you can take Rice and get Collins and Bucky and Worthy and then come back with a better 2 players, like your league trades that much, then I think so. But if you can't get back to a better 2 players, then maybe not. Blake Rule got a new offer. Got new digs from Blake. And actually, Blake Kingslayer jumped you. We'll go Kingslayer, then Blake. This is fast, Blake. Like, you just hang right on. Swift or Monungai? Oh, I'm going DeAndre Swift. I'm going to be honest. I read the length of the message. To me, it was just a blurb of letters with the word or. And I thought this will be short. And then I didn't realize it would be even that short. It's Swift by a lot for me. Blake Rule got a new offer. I'd get Jacobs, Tyler Warren, JSN, and Olave. Okay, I cleared that one out. Blake, these are big boys. Josh Jacobs, Tyler Warren, JSN, and Olave for Rashee Rice, CD, Gibbs, and Laporta. This doesn't seem that much better as I'm reading it. Once we get to 4 on a side, and this late in the day, we're slowing down. This will be the last one that we do, Blake. The last one this big that we do. Is Blake subbed on YouTube? Blake, are you subbed on YouTube? I feel like we got to get a sub if I'm going to type up a whole novel. Olave for Rice, CD, Gibbs, just subbed. There we go. Sometimes you just got to ask. And Laporta. Yeah. Just subbed, appreciate it. So you would get Josh Jacobs. Like, I like the big boy side. Rice, Lamb. I don't know how Gibbs got snuck in on this deal as another offer. Like, JSN is cool. These other guys are cool too. You would get the best option, but you already have some of the best. You're giving up too many of the best options to get the best option. It's too much. It's too much. Like, JSN is cool, but these other guys are cool too. Gavin Trueblood, I have Dowdle, ETN. So I would stay with Lamb, Rice, and Gibbs and Laporta. All right, Sufer Jan Stevens, trading Nico, Tracy, and $4 of fab. And $4 of fab. Okay, Nico, Tracy. So trading Nico Collins, nothing, and $4 of fab for Javonte. I need an RB2. Am I overpaying? Why is there $4 of fab and Nico Tracy in this? Javonte for Nico. I don't think it's insane. I saw a lot of people trading Rico for Nico, Rico Dowdle for Nico Collins. A lot of people were doing that. So would I trade Javonte Williams for Nico? Similar. I don't know why we got to add in $4 of fab. It just feels like the guy just wants to kick you in the balls. Sure. Yeah, that seems okay. Story time. Just want to say I love what you do. Keep killing it. Hey, I feel like I'm going insane today. Thank you very much. We're start Kelsey or Goddard this week. Give me Goddard. I think Goddard by a little bit. They're both solid starts. I don't know that you could move either one, but I would look into seeing if you could move either one. Ulysses Vasquez says that's a massive trade. It's a big one. It's a big one, and I don't know that we want to do it. Kyle Schultz, Troy Franklin, or Cortland Sutton. I still have the slight edge to Sutton. I have taken them and gone, they're coming together, but I still have Sutton slightly ahead. I've got Sutton at 16, Franklin at 22. If you don't want to go that way, you don't have, that's not one where I would heavily question you. I'm slow to adjust. I'll adjust to Troy Franklin getting more work, Cortland Sutton seeing a little bit less, but I'm still slow. If it flips again this week, then I'm going to start having it flip. So if you want to be early to the party, you can. And I wouldn't think you're insane. Ryan says, should I pick up Judy? I think so. I think you should stash Jerry Judy. I don't know what it is. If we pull up Jerry Judy, last year, amazing stretch down the final couple weeks. That does not seem like something that makes sense to repeat in the same way. Like a player just goes from not doing much, and then after the bye week, massive numbers, 26, 14, 40, 17, 21, a down week, 21, 12, after doing very little in the start of the year. It could happen again. I can't explain it. I would grab him for a week because here in 2025, he's now at 0, a bye week, and then 19. It's the Jets. But if it starts happening, like he's a stash. And if it goes away after a week, you just drop him. I want bench spots where I can be cycling through these stashes, Ryan. Kingslayer, did we cover Tez Johnson or Jordan Addison? I would go Jordan Addison. I just think maybe I'm just a pessimistic Bears fan. I think the Vikings are going to be able to throw against the Bears. Scuba Steve, Judkins, and Gadsden for someone like Kyron, Genti, Javonte, or would you feel comfortable enough to keep Gadsden and dish Tyler Warren for a higher end upgrade? Judkins to go to Kyron? Like Judkins to Kyron could be cool. Could be cool. Let's pull them up side by side. 26, 3, 4, 10. So we got to see that. Oh, these are very tough run defenses. Pittsburgh and New England. Baltimore could be there. Down the stretch, he looks all right. Vegas, San Francisco's injury depleted. Tennessee, my Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh again, Cincinnati. I don't think we're playing in week 18. Like there's good weeks coming from Judkins. And then it was Kyron. He's 9 on the year. I think I pulled him up, Judkins, but he wasn't playing to start the year. Kind of wish that these numbers were higher. 56, 65. I know he left this game early, New England. Like, yeah, I could go to Kyron for Gadsden if you can't get anything else. Gavin Trueblas says, which 4 would you start? Oh, it's way up here. I'm sorry, Gavin. I have Dowdle, Etienne. Did I skip this? Dowdle, Etienne, Brown, Judkins, RJ Harvey, and White in PPR. Which 4 do I start? Dowdle, Etienne, Brown, and Judkins is probably the way I would start at those first 4. If you wanted to sub Harvey in over Judkins, I could. But those are the 4 I would take. Kingslayer, I need your take. Is it worth dropping Jackson Dart? No, it's probably just 1 week that he's out, right? Stroud's on his 2nd week out, but it's usually 1 on a concussion. Liam Adams, would it be worth trading down just a little bit from James Cook because of his playoff schedule? What's the down trade? So it could be. You could be getting a great deal. I don't know what the trade is, but am I looking to trade James Cook? Yes, I want to trade everyone. Am I looking to trade James Cook because of his playoff schedule? No. Am I looking to trade James Cook down? Do we agree on what down is? I don't know. What's the trade, Liam? DP says, hey man, how's it going? It's going great. We are doing great. 137. Been working, been thinking fantasy all day. Here is the question from DP. Should I trade either Ibuka or Adams for Dowdle, and which one? If you have Saquon, Warren, and ETN, I'm not. So I will answer this question, and I will go and I'll bought it. You have a team here. You've got Ibuka, or let's go. This one is your team. And I think this is a good, don't listen to all the players here. We're just going to count out how many starters at each position you have. You have Saquon, Jalen Warren, ETN. We're feeling good. 3. There's 3 up on the screen. Nice and easy to see. CeeDee Lamb, London, Ibuka, Adams. I don't want to do any swaps. Should you send Ibuka for Dowdle? No. If you had Dowdle, should you send Dowdle for Ibuka? Like maybe. Combine them. If you've got 7 there and you're only starting 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex, I want you to get from 7 to 6. I don't want you to go from 7 to 7. Work on going from 7 to 6. Or if you go 7 to 7, go down at some of them. Like move from ETN to Monty as your fill-in option. ETN to Aaron Jones in some sort of trade, and then make one of your wide receivers better in that trade. So the players there don't matter. For everyone listening, like I don't want 7 starters that I'm choosing between as we get later in the year. I'm looking to check for any of these. I think Dowdle's the only one that has a bye left. We're through our buys. We want better playoff matchups. Oh, 2 flex. So you're starting 6 of those. So then you're fine. So for DP, because you have 2 flexes, you're good. For everyone else listening who has 1 flex, let's combine. Also 9-1, that makes sense. Your team is very good. Amanda Ross St. Brown, what about Pittman for Alec Pierce and Metcalf? I think I would stay with Pittman. Like same answer. So this is why I said the names don't matter. Why are we splitting guys this late in the season? We don't have buys coming up anymore. There's no buys in the playoffs. And I can't think of that many players that have gotten hurt this week. Who are we splitting to fill in for? Maybe Tucker Kraft or Kincaid. But who else has gotten hurt? Oh, I guess Marv. Marv is missing time. Garrett Wilson. So maybe there are injuries and I'm just a dum-dum. But if you're not filling in for an injured person, be the one combining. Don't be the one splitting right now. So for Amanda Ross St. Brown, I just like saying. I think if you have Pittman, you're okay. Unless you thought you were going to take Alec Pierce and Metcalf and then in turn trade for a better running back or receiver, and you were doing a sequence of going from Pittman to a better wide receiver or Pittman to a better running back, just stay with Pittman. Joey just traded Javonte Williams for Jalen Warren. Why? This is a question for everyone. Just traded a running back who's good for a running back who's about as good. Why? Even just go to the initials. Just traded JW for JW. They're going to score around the same points. Why? Why trade that at all? Warren has an easier schedule. I don't think that's okay. I mean, we're all allowed to play it in the game in a different way, but I don't really do a lot of 1-for-1s like that where I think I'm good enough at knowing the schedule. Oh, Amanda you were doing it backwards. You were trying to get Pittman. Hey, I also get it backwards as well, which is usually why I'll just say, unless I have a take on it like that one, I want the one. So normally I'll just say which side I like, and I should have just done that better. Ranting was fun too, though. Ranting about that was fun. So yeah, go for Pittman. Bryson, would I trade Brees and Olave for Achane? Yeah, I would. Same concept that we've been covering. Like let's combine stuff. Open ourselves up for, I think we had Jerry Jeudy as an example. Let's open ourselves up for late season changes. We're through 11 weeks, and now we start to think we know everything that's going to happen because we have 11 games played. Most teams have played 10 games. That doesn't mean we know what's going to happen in the next set of weeks. For playoff schedules, there's still going to be defensive players that get injured. I don't look that far ahead for playoff schedules as good or tough because there's 11 players on defense, and if one of them gets hurt, the defense gets worse. We're not that good at predicting this that far out. Quentin Lim, Pearsall, Theo Johnson, and Addison, pick 2 to start. Pearsall and Addison? I think Pearsall and Addison. Carnage, I have Hurts as QB1, but I got Dart for Hurts' bye. Should I drop Dart, Rashad White, or Tracy to pick up Pearsall? In a 1-quarterback league, I mean, can you sell Hurts? Can you sell Hurts after Dart is injured? Because I've got a team where I'm fine just rolling with Dart. He has been good enough to be your guy. And if you can take Hurts and trade him for one really good player and then do a combination with that and come out with an amazing player, there's a very good chance your best lineup involves moving Jalen Hurts and just starting Jackson Dart. So that's what I would look to do. Quentin Lim, I think we covered that one. Kingslayer, Jameson Williams, or Tez Johnson this week. I think Jameson Williams. Hanzo says Pearsall with Purdy and then gives you one of these. I hope so. I hope so. Keegan, Shakir, or Pearsall this week? I think Pearsall, but they're very close. Where do I end up with Shakir? Shakir, I have at 33, and he could any week be like 26 to 30 just based on how many teams are on bye. So there's not that many options on bye this week. So I've got him at 33, but I like Pearsall in general better as a player. So that's the way I would go. But I have a hard time recommending any 49ers confidently and knowing what they're going to do. Evan Gittleman on YouTube got an offer where I received Jalen Hurts, Ashton Genty, and Drake London, and you give up Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, and Ken Walker. Only running backs right now are Vidal, and you have Hampton. So you have a combo, Ken Walker, Hunt, and DeMarcado. So you would get Genty and Drake London and give up Ken Walker. Let's crunch it, Evan. It's getting late. 3 for 3 is a lot to think through. And we're coming up on the end of the stream. We got 15 minutes remaining. I don't mind asking for a little bit of robot help here. Where are we? I'm sure you could do this too. I'll do my best to add context and tweak values where I think they should be tweaked. Like I like Justin Jefferson much more than that number that it shows. I'm not someone trying to get out on Justin Jefferson right now. We're getting Genty, Hurts, and Drake London. how much more do I like? Do I like Justin Jefferson more than Drake London? I kind of do. So, I mean, even if we're just crossing this off and saying, do I want to trade Josh Allen and Ken Walker for Genty and Hurts? Yeah, I think we're okay here. I think we're okay here, Evan. I think I can approve it. Taking on Jalen Hurts. I mean, other quarterbacks. So other thing though, Evan, let's just be open to this might not be the only other option. Like here was just offered. Oh, that's DP. Never mind. We'll come to that question. This isn't the only move you could make. If you have Josh Allen, couldn't you find, like we were just talking about Jackson Dart, could you find cheap quarterback production? Some people have said Stafford is available. Got Stafford ranked at 8 this week. If Stafford's available, like just ship, and you need a running back, just ship Josh Allen away. Stafford is QB7 on the year. Like that is usable. So if Stafford's available, snag him and you don't need to buy another running back. You could just add so much value off of the waivers and then trade Josh Allen away. Look at what other options are available. That one that you're getting is not a bad option. DP15, which one should I bench this week? Saquon versus Detroit, ETN versus the Chargers. Devontae versus Seattle, leaning ETN. I would just take, I like the skill of those other players, DP, enough that the matchups aren't going to come into play. I would just bench ETN over those. Connor Everston, trade Bijan and Pittman. Trade Bijan and Pittman for Rice and Rico and Pollard. I think I'm staying with Bijan. Would I swap Bijan just for Rice? No. No, I think I'm staying with Bijan. And Pittman around Rico. I guess people would take Rico over Pittman, but not as much as I would take Rice over Bijan. And then Pollard is just kind of which one of us is going to cut him. All righty. Oh, wait, we missed one. Did I miss one? No. Connor Everston. No, that's what I just said. Almighty Exodia. What are your thoughts on trading for players when you lack depth in terms of star power to send off? I don't care a ton about depth right now. What are your thoughts on trading players when you lack depth in terms of star power? There's going to be like weird guys getting work as teams are evaluating rookies. Teams that are out of it will look different going forward as well as teams get eliminated from the playoffs. Let's see what we have. So there will be players that gain more value in the last weeks of the year. What are my thoughts on trading for players when you lack depth in terms of star power to send off? I try to find guys on waivers and turn them into competent starters in package deals if you can, before I'm looking to trade away my stars. Like if I have a running back 2 problem, I don't want to trade Puka to solve that. I want to trade like way lower down. Most of the deals that involve trading Puka to solve a wide receiver, a running back 2 problem, look pretty bad to me. I'll add on top of that. JPB, Watson, Michael Wilson, or Malik Washington need a flex play since Garrett is out. I think I would go Christian Watson for the upside. Verretz, do you think Trey Benson is viable if he plays? Yeah. Running back 22-ish viable. Like he's Trey Benson with the Cardinals is probably better than Rashad White ever was with the Bucks. Maybe not ever was, but in a lot of those games. He's probably better than Aaron Jones in a split backfield. I'd probably put him ahead of Woody Marks that people want to start in some weeks. So yeah, he's viable, but he's not a star. He's okay. DP was just offered HN for my Drake London and ETN. Is that too much to give up? I think it's a little bit much to give up. Should I counter with Ibuka or Adams and ETN for him? Maybe Ibuka if you really want HN. I think we can also wait a week and these prices on HN dip a little bit. Like a lot of people are trying to cash in and get massive deals for a guy who scored 40 points. Who's good. I think HN is really good. If this is the only consolidation you could do, like maybe. I don't know that if I had Drake London and ETN, I don't think that I would cook that up and send it out. What you doing, Lovely says, love Flacco, Rodgers, or Caleb this week. I think I would end up with Flacco. I think I would end up with Flacco. Almighty Exodia, what do you think about starting JMO against Philly? I think you can. I think you can. It's not crazy. I know he's had a lot of down weeks, but they changed their play calling. They kind of took that from the OC and gave it to the head coach, Dan Campbell, and then immediately started using JMO more. So I'm willing to believe that something has changed and there could be something there. He's also someone that, like, at his market price, I could trade for and see what we get. Like, actually, let's talk about that. Because this, I could do it as a video. Amanda Ross St. Brown with the hat and mustache. Thank you very much. Let's talk about Jameson Williams. What are people doing with this guy? Would I trade, if we just go 1-for-1? I would not trade Ladd. I would not trade Quinshon Judkins. I would not trade Marv. I would trade Kyle Pitts easily. Would I trade Gadsden? Sure. Pittman, no. Pierce, absolutely. Jake Ferguson, no. Dobbs, for sure. Daniel Jones as a second quarterback, that's okay. I would take Jameson Williams. I would trade Keenan Allen. So not as many as I thought. I would trade Jordan Mason for Jameson Williams because he has the chance to be much better down the stretch. And with a lot of these, you're just taking a bet. Does Alec Pierce become top 20 rest of the way? Could, but I don't think so. Does Jameson Williams? He could. I don't think so, but I think more. It's just a higher percentage. So I thought he was going to be a little bit cheaper. Ryan Teller, Algier over on the rushing touchdowns? Probably. I don't think I would. But don't look at me like, does he go on the over for rushing touchdowns? Every other week he gets one? Every other week he gets one? I think people saw him get 2 that they wanted to go to Bijan on a game that was broadcast nationally. And now they're starting to think all touchdowns go to Algier. He gets one every other week. Plays Carolina, who has been an okay defense. Let's pull Carolina versus running backs. They're middle of the road against running backs. So I don't do a ton of gambling advice. I think I'm trying to take that and tweak it for fantasy. I'm not as worried about Algier. I don't think he's getting every single touchdown. Or that they're actually going to him in the red zone significantly more than Bijan. Like, you could pull up the stats. He's not getting significantly more work. That was broadcast nationally. We wanted it to go to Bijan. In overtime, we wanted it to go to Bijan. We were all watching it. It was exciting, and he got 2. I don't know that he gets 2 again this year. Mr. Luckaboo, would you move Breece Hall into bench wide receiver for Kyren Williams? Yes. Yeah, I definitely could. Give me some more examples of who these players are, but probably. Like, I watched the game last night and I was feeling excited because Justin Fields was getting work. What did Breece Hall end up with? 8. That's a tough run defense. 14 for 58 doesn't surprise me against New England. 2 catches. I thought he might get a couple more catches. Yeah, I could move him. I don't know that this offense does a lot without Garrett Wilson there. These receivers are just not good enough. Where are we? Because I've definitely fallen way behind. So we're at 154. I think we're going to get to the bottom here. And then I think we'll still get a couple extras. What you doing, lovely? We covered Exodia, Swaggy, Swavigs, Christian Watson, or Tyler Lockett. I think I'm going to go with the upside of Watson. G-Dog traded Swift and received Judkins and Diggs. Solid move. Yes, I like Judkins and Diggs there. I probably like Judkins more than Swift, and then you just get Diggs on top. That's the way I think about it. I could be wrong, but that's the way I think about it. The real Tism, that might not be what the name is meant to be, but I don't know what it is meant to be. Trade JMO for Gadsden. I kind of like it flipped, but if you needed a tight end, I kind of like it both ways. So I like it both ways. If you need a tight end, I'm fine sending that for Gadsden. I like the upside of JMO, and I think that will change after Sunday. I'll either be in on JMO on Sunday or I'll be out on JMO. Kingslayer, I have AJ Brown. Do I trade him, hold him? Is he even a start moving forward? He even said himself to get rid of him. Don't listen to the players. Don't listen to the coaches. Really just look at what happens on Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays, and sometimes coming up soon, Saturdays. But no, in general, if you listen to everything a coach says and everything a player says, you're more often going to end up unhappy. So he said it, but ignore it. I would try to go to a world where you hadn't heard it or he hadn't said it, because it's just not that useful over the long term. TTV Captain Crunch, welcome back. Do I start Gadsden or Kittle at tight end? I mean, check in on the injury report if Gadsden has been. I mean, I have Gadsden at 9 this week and Kittle at 4. So even regardless of the injury, I would go with Kittle. If you want to go with Gadsden, tight end is very hard to predict, but I would personally go Kittle. I wouldn't feel like, oh, I have to go Kittle. I would just end up putting Kittle in and saying like Gadsden's a good option as well. Babushka, I had Kittle and Warren, traded Warren for Olave before the deadline. Did I mess up, or was it good to just get something out of him? I'm 8-2. I did a video on Warren trades today. I don't remember any of them, though. I feel like I'm going insane. I mean, here I am wearing the same clothes. This one's from this morning in my kitchen, Tyler Warren trade value. And that'll give you a gauge of what real people are getting for Tyler Warren. And you can check that one out, Babushka. That's on YouTube and TikTok as well. I'm not sure if Babushka came from one of those spots or if you just found me through Twitch. But we also have long form, videos on both of those platforms. So we covered Tyler Warren today. In general, it's good to get something out of him. Mr. Luckaboo, we covered Scooby Steve. J Jet is going to go off against your Bears. Yes, I think so. Don't know. That's more my Bears pessimism. I just realized someone might take that confident yes as meaning I really believe Justin Jefferson is going to be amazing. I think he will be. I have him at 6 on the week, but that's just more I'm ready to be hurt again. I'm constantly ready to be hurt by the Bears. And all of my Minnesota in-laws texting, what's wrong with the Bears? Why are they losing? Last question from Carnage. I have Hurts in a 1 quarterback league. Oh, we covered that one. Do I drop Dart, Rashad White, or Tracy to pick up Pearsall? Oh, maybe I said don't drop Dart, but to pick up Pearsall, I would try to trade Rashad White if he's starting, and Tracy would be the one that I would drop. I would rather have Pearsall than Tracy. BB Mochito, who to start at flex, Quentin Johnston or Gadsden, week 11. Quentin Johnston listed as questionable. They're both listed as injured. You can check in on what's going on with Gadsden and what's going on with Johnson on their health. If you went Gadsden over him, I might go Gadsden over him. I could go Gadsden over him. Swerve, do you think I can get anything for Garrett Wilson? If not, should I trade Bucky? I'm not positive those two things are as related as you think. Can you get anything for Garrett Wilson? Yes. But in your league, you might also find out that you can't. That people think IR is going to be season ending for him or that he's just not coming back. VB, there is no exclamation for YouTube on Twitch chat. I can add one. You're right. I should add a chat command for doing exclamation YouTube to get to Twitch chat. You could just scroll down. If you're watching on your desktop, there's a big button for YouTube. Otherwise, it's the same name. Here's how you would find it at Boombus Fantasy. Mr. Luckaboo, I've got 13 trades pending. One's got to get accepted, right? Hey, we hope so. We hope so. And then Swerve, if not, should you trade Bucky? You could check in. I'm not sure what your problems are, Swerve. If you wanted to submit your team for a roster review, I'm kind of just moving into selling mode as we're ending, Swerve. I'm not sure if you should trade Bucky. My answer in general is always yes, you should trade your players because you can probably get more. But if you guys are looking for it, we're at 2:00, so we're going to end as well. We have roster reviews in our fantasy Discord that is tied to Twitch subs, which you can get for no extra money if you have Amazon Prime. It's called Twitch Prime, and you just get a subscription each month to hand to anyone on Twitch, and that could be me. It's money that you're already spending, and it could go to me instead of Jeff Bezos. You can also check out, we have a server shop where you can do some sort of subscription if you're not on Twitch at all. But we do charge on the team reviews for roster help and screenshots channel where you can get that there. There are plenty of free channels on the Discord. We're at 2. If you have a start sit question that is just running back, wide receiver versus wide receiver, we have that as ranks. You can watch the ranks video here on YouTube. I did not mean to do that. I meant to just show that it's right here, and you could pretend that it's live. It's just me sitting in the same chair in the same room answering your question. You could pretend it's live. If you want to, you could pretend I'm saying your name, and then it feels like I'm answering your specific question for you, but it's right there for you. Nate says, did Rashad White for Spears? All right. I think Spears has more of a role than Rashad White. Then here's a couple last ones. Scuba Steve's, tell those Minnesota relatives to go chew their fingernails. They all do. I can see my wife's hand is up near her mouth, but I can't see if she's chewing her nails right now. She probably is. You're not chewing your nails? She's chewing her nails, guys. She's lying to you. Because it seems funny to me. Carnage says, enjoy your next cup of coffee. I got the big one out today. Until next time, we will be here on Sunday morning, 10:30, catching the end of the Spain game. And then Eric Serrano is the last one on YouTube. With Laporta looking like he might not play, I could use some help. Otten and Ertz are on waivers, or any suggestions, which I could tell him I'd probably go Ertz, but we also have the ranks video where you could answer that question. We've got ranks where we go through every single game. I think we have a tight end for most teams ranked. I have 20-ish tight ends ranked, so we don't have one for most teams. We have them for a lot of the teams. We are at the end. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all of the TikTok gifters. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for just being here and having questions and making my day. We will be back on Sunday. See ya, 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 see ya. This one's ending. See ya, see ya. How do I end this one? Where is it? It's over here. See ya.